I got
Sure.
it. I got it. Don't worry.
God.
Did the children unplug Twitch?
No, but
Again.
they steal all of our internet while we're trying to stream, and it's like, no. Are we live again? Audience, are we
We
live?
are live again.
We are live again.
We are live
Okay.
again.
Did you get a
Ooh,
chance?
we
Yeah,
have
you already described your character.
Yeah. Diz's accomplishments. He's probably the sickest driver in the Outback, and a lot of people know this. He's also he was a stuntman, right? But he actually his biggest achievement was the one time he got a speaking line. Um, it was in Fast and the Furious '67, and he pulled a sweet stunt, and the cybernetic reincarnation of Vin Diesel. They just sort of rebuilt him, so he's kind of the Vin Diesel of Theseus. Looks down and says, "Nice ride." And then Diz Apollo got to look at Cyber Vin Diesel, who's like his his idol, and got to say, "Thanks, man." And then peel off, and that was his big speaking role. So that was his big moment.
nice.
Because he's a stuntman, he's agile. He can drive. He can shoot. He's very pretty. He's very fit, and he's also kind of a sad boy.
All right. Fit, sad boy, pretty. Got it. Somebody who belongs in movies. We'll move on from there to Chromia. Shannon.
I don't know. I wasn't even here for a good majority of that. I walked back on like Vin Diesel part. I'm not sure I can top it.
Cyber
Honestly.
Vin Diesel.
Cyber Vin Diesel. Yeah, my bad. Cyber Vin Diesel. So I don't know. Anyway, okay. So what can you? I'm sorry. Do you know how like when I go back and then come back and
Yeah, a
then the
little
ADHD is
distracted.
like, where were we?
Who is your character? What's their greatest achievement and regret?
Also, yeah. So greatest achievement would be the collection of all the shiny things that she has been able to find throughout the wastelands. A ranger, not a ranger, a wanderer going from place to place finding things. Sorry, I'm thrown off. And then the biggest regret is so many shinies left to find, and she may never find them within her lifetime. And honestly, that just makes her very, very sad. Often. There was another component to that. What was that?
Tell us a little bit about your character.
Oh, just a little bit crazy, out in the sun, a lot, alone, a lot, dehydrated, sun fried. May just be a little kooky, a little insane, but it's fine. It helps, it helps integrate places, just being able to go with the flow with things, a little murder here and there is nothing to really get so crazy about. People just do their thing, yeah, that's Chromia. Sorry for the disjointedness.
It's all good. We got the idea. All right, moving on to Tireface and Rob.
That's me. Well, who am I? I'm Rob. I'm here, ready to have a good time. But who am I? I'm Tireface. And, well, my biggest achievement, I survived the trial by tire. That's right. I know. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. But also, not a lot of witnesses, and mainly not a lot of employers survived the trial by tire. So I've been kind of between war bands, a little regrettable, not ideal. So we're gonna hopefully remedy this with gainful employment. But they tell you study and you work to defeat the trial by tire, and they tell you that you're gonna be set after that you're gonna have employment and your pick of war bosses, and then what happens is you're still stuck in those low end oil grot jobs that you had when you started. So I'm not bitter. It's all fine. It's fine.
Of course, that's Tireface. And last but not least, our guest of honor tonight, Ray Mayhem, over here with Salt Colossus. Who are you? Give us your intro.
I am Ray Mayhem, but for the purposes of tonight, I am not. I am Salt Colossus. I am the leader of the most fearsome band of marauders in the wastelands. My only regret in life is not coming to power sooner. And I am so ready to mess some stuff up. Because I am only happy when I am in like life-threatening danger. So
You gotta be there in that moment. And we have a cat in the wastes, everyone. All right. So that is everybody's characters in a nutshell here. And of course, tonight we are playing the Cult of NOS. There is many, many different crazy factions out there in the wastes, in the outback, or whatever you want to call it at this point in time. Who really knows? It's just the world. But of course, not all of them are quite as insane as the others. We see everybody here in their respective places. We'll go to each one of you here shortly, describe where you're at, describe what's going on, and then we'll get this thing underway. So, since we started with Diz to begin with, we'll do the same thing now. Diz, you have a beautiful ride. It is something that out there in the wastes gets oohs and ahs all over the place, happens to be fast, sleek, and capable. And yet, it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. Out here, as you're riding through the sands, of course, sometimes you don't have the right tires. Sometimes you don't have the right front-mounted, like, scoop to protect yourself. Sometimes the protections that you do put in place get taken off by rampaging marauders. But it's still your favorite thing in the world, other than maybe some of the other things that you enjoy, the things that you love. But you needed to take a trip. You took a trip down to Scrap Town. Scrap Town is located on the side of one of the largest junkyards ever founded on the southwest side of the continent. And down there, everything is made out of whatever refuse can be found, stolen or scavenged from various other individuals out in the waste that destroy one another, foolishly, wantonly, and sometimes not so much by accident. So you drive into town, we hear the purr of your vehicle as you're starting to move through the streets, and you see these wastrels all around you, some of them in various stages of decay in their own way, a little bit too sunburned, a little bit too wild-eyed, crazy, some of them with bolts in their necks and their arms and their body parts to show ferocity, capability, and the closeness that they might have to the automatons, to the automotive gods that exist in this universe. Hail to the V8. When you come across one of the local shopkeepers there, Vostok, you happen to be pulling into his store where you can get some extra hardware for your vehicle. You see, you bent an axle. You happen to scrap a couple of sheet metal panels on the side of your vehicle that need repairs or replacement. So we see you just pull up, slow down, the crunch of the sand underneath your tires coming to a halt. What do you do as you step out?
Diz, I couldn't find my aviators, or I'd like be like fancily putting them on. But Diz, like, it does like the rotating rise cam, and he's like getting out of the car like very sleekly, and he kind of like one boot, and then he takes off his aviators and kind of squints down at the scrapyard. What's the name of the guy?
Vostok.
Hey, Vostok. Vostok, is Diz.
Oh, God, you again. Hey, Diz, how's it been? You got
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? You sell that autograph, or?
Yeah, you're garbage. You know, I can't keep handling this stuff. You keep giving me this junk. Nobody wants it, Diz.
What do you mean no one wants this? Good stuff.
You need to come and fuel, or steel, or bullets, guzzo, you know, chrome, anything good would be nice. Pictures and like relics of the past nobody here wants.
What do you mean relics of the past? Are you kidding me? You love that bobblehead.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I got you. And then Diz like pats him on the shoulder 2 times in the front and then just walks in.
The camera like pans over to Vostok's face where there's just like a murderous glare for a minute as Diz goes and walks away. As you step into the horizon a little bit from where you're standing, you can actually see between some of the ramshackle buildings a dust cloud rising on the horizon. Usually means either a storm's brewing or somebody's on their way.
Hey VD, we got storms. What's up?
No. It's a meeting, warlords. We're buying salt.
Salt?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Well,
You know that's bad for your heart, right?
you are an idiot, sir. Without enough of it, we need more water. More water means more expenditure. We need to have salt to equalize that shit. It's important. Also, makes food taste like food rather than oil and grit.
No. Too much salt on there. Like that's like the devil's bargain. Like, yeah, it makes the food taste good, but think about what it's doing to your insides. It's basically rocks, man.
You are outdated. You're
I
a
was in
pile of
Fast and
scrap
Furious
on the side of the
67.
road, Diz. You live in the past and you need to get back there, I suppose. Somebody's gonna put you in the ground someday.
Only person that's gonna put me in the ground is me doing something. Dude, can't stop, won't stop. Ain't nothing getting
Keep
my way
trying.
except
He
a
slaps
bullet.
you on the back a few times and then he steps over to look at your vehicle.
Man, this is why I never get speaking roles.
The camera kind of slides off to the side where we can see Chromia sitting on a hillside looking down. From your position, Chromia, you got your little spyglass out. You got your...
literally doing this.
Yep. Literally doing that from the back of your incredibly shiny Vespa. It's not bright in its own because you can see flat black matte paint underneath. But it's covered in things like, what would you say now? Gum wrappers and tin foil.
Oh, yeah.
And...
You know how you can pull the little silver off of the old gum wrappers and put that on, lick it, and put it right on there. Maybe some glass, a little bit of shiny anything that, sticks with spit, maybe dirt, boogers, whatever.
So you find yourself sitting on the back of the Vespa kind of staring out. You can see the glint of sparkles in the distance, sunlight bouncing off the hoods and the windows of vehicles all rushing in the direction of the tiny city you see nestled off in the hills to the right of you. To the left of you, you can see the subject of a most recent picture you took. Something that didn't come out great in your little camera, but shiny nonetheless. A massive obelisk of metal and smoke and blue flames that occasionally kick up.
Blue ones are my favorite flames. Try not to go too Penelope here. I'm turn around and put my spyglasses away and go towards the city and see if there's anything shiny I can get my hands on.
The little city or the giant cathedral looking place?
Whichever is a writer's convenience.
Okay,
I felt
there
like
we
you
go.
were cathedral probably.
You're heading towards the biggest, shiniest thing with blue flames blasting off of it,
Yeah.
bored by the little tiny scrapyard that is glinting. It has no glinting and no sparkle. It's dull and it is rusted.
Ugh.
So we see Chromia hop onto her little Vespa, go barreling down the sands and heading towards this old oil facility that is off in the distance. We switch over to Tireface. Tireface, you and a few of your other brothers that succeeded in the trial of the Tire have found themselves unfortunately bested. This group, this organization, kind of swept in after your warlord was defeated by some strange road warrior and friends. And from your position inside of this tiny cave that you find yourself, they've got you moving through here, splattering muck and detritus across the walls, growing mushrooms in these underground caverns that you find yourself in. They are referred to as the NOS caverns. They seem to be sucking up excess something from the grounds here and spreading it amongst their crew. So you're there next to Nailbiter, who looks over at you. You can see half of his face is burned really badly from being captured. Brother, I don't know if I can keep doing this forever.
Yeah, but I do get it. These are pretty nice.
That's what I mean, yes. The caves are kind of strange, honestly. I find myself quite happy and in pain at the same time.
It's not. You think they're hiring?
Splints to the side of you just goes, "Shut up, you two. They're gonna put us on the labor yard again."
Well, there's always room for upward mobility, right?
Upward mobility. Yeah, I mean, in the
I mean, we're
previous
in a
place,
cave. That's as low as you can go.
you're
You can only
underground.
really go
Yeah,
up.
we can only work up from there. Of
There we
course, of
go.
course. We've got to shine. We've got to shine. So as you're working down there, someone like steps down inside, the mark of NOS on their forehead, and looks over the corner, wearing a like heavy metal mask covered in thorns. He turns to you, the executioner, the one that has wiped out some of the weaker ones down below that didn't make it, that didn't quite work out right.
Hey, Biggie.
He looks over at you and just says,
Shut up. You and yours. You need to just come upstairs with me. We happen to have...
Kindly reconsidering the offer, I see.
We have the most honorable situation for you. His Reverence Rollo has decided that the three of you shall give a chance to show your purity, to show that your blood runs with the blue flame, to become part of all of us. Come with me.
And I'd love to talk about, like, compensation benefits once we prove the flame and all that. That'd be incredible. Yeah.
The benefits are wonderful. You will never
Yeah,
feel pain.
sure.
You will never feel fear. You will have NOS running through your veins. You will light like a spark in the heavens.
And, like, the paid time off.
Yes, of course, when you're dead.
you see him like turn and start
Great,
walking
okay.
up the edge of the cave entrance, and you see your friends turn to you, and Splints goes,
It's our chance. It's our chance to try this out, to show them what we're made of, to show that we will not die in the dirt.
Oh yeah. Vacation policy's a little strict, but we'll see what kind of wiggle room we can negotiate.
Nailbiter looks over at you, and you see like his face getting very, very pale as like blood is still dripping down the side of his neck, and he turns and goes, "Yeah, we'll do this. Will you hold me up?"
Hey, let's come on. And yeah, I'll prop
Starts
them up.
staggering out of the tunnel and heading upward from there. Salt Colossus, we turn to you. We happen to see the camera pan out of this weird kind of like oil city with a massive tower spewing smoke and blue flame, and it spreads across the desert terrain, red stone and sand as far as the eye can see. We see a massive cloud kicked up behind a series of war rigs. What does yours look like, and what do you look like sitting up on the front of it?
So my war rig is, imagine taking like the body of one of those like ATV like 40 little spider things people have, but putting it on like monster truck wheels. And I am definitely like up, like there's a crossbar, like a roll bar, and I'm like up there and screaming. There are no safety precautions in sight, absolutely none. And behind me, not only is there like war rigs set on vehicles, but there are like motorcycles with like 2 sidecars or 3 sidecars, and they have guns on them and lancers, and we are hell-bent for leather to
Excellent. So
yeah.
So we see you up on the top of this thing, kind of the wind just blasting against you, the sand and grit like just rolling off of your skin. Your crew all around you. Ton Gauge, your second in command at the moment, standing to the side, just kind of pointing.
Scraptown, right ahead, boss.
Salt Colossus is just gonna like nod at them because they are too distracted with the fact that they are bored, because like nobody attacked them, there was like no ambushes, and this is the most boring trip that they have ever made.
So Ton Gauge off to the side just looks over and
We need
adventure. We need excitement. Blow something up. And you see a crewmate nearby just set off one of their vehicles.
And Salt Colossus is just gonna go, "Ah!"
And you see
then,
the other
like-
crew, "Yeah!" yells and like shouts, fists in the air. As your war party gets closer, you only brought a small one. Behind a couple of your war rigs are carrier chariots that are pulling the salt that you have mined out. Various different types of it, of course. And as you get closer uh, to Scraptown, you see their small group kind of spread out to show you that they are willing to fight if they have to, but they're there to make some trade. They're looking to give you the scrap that you need, a few old pieces of antiquated military hardware and weaponry and that kind of thing. So as you pull in close, you can see that their boss, Grave Dancer, is standing in the midst of the crowd, bare chested. He's got like pipes on his back that seem to be attached to a harness, and he's just got his head up, shaved with like tattoos and scars across the side of it. And as you get closer to him, he just raises one hand.
That's close enough.
I am going to like Salt Colossus is going to jump down into like like the cockpit of her their war rig and just grab the wheel and drift and end about 4 feet away from him.
Let's do a first roll of the night to see how well this goes. Salt
Cool,
Colossus,
cool.
give us a driving roll.
All right, what am I rolling?
Just double click the number in the middle of driving, and then it'll show you the roll.
Okay. Un moment. I can't find my character sheet now.
It should be in the top left. You click on your picture in there, it'll bring up your character sheet.
No matter where it is, it'll pop up.
Yep.
Hold on. User error, guys. I haven't used this before.
It's all
and
good.
I'm pretty not smart. All right, let's see.
I think I've used this for iterations of it for 3 years, and I still can never find the fucking button I'm looking for.
Thank you. I feel much better about that. Okay, now I found it. So
if you
I
have it
just
up there,
click on
just double click on
driving.
the number in the middle.
Okay.
There you go. First roll. And you got 1 success, 2 successes. Excellent. So your vehicle just rushes forward. You jump down in. The driver suddenly just launches out and pinwheels out into the sand where they hit the ground and they like stumble a little bit. And we see them stand up as the Salt Colossus's war rig just kind of slides and bounces slightly to the side as dust and grit splatter over the chest and the legs of this individual. You just see him continuing to stand there and wait for you to come down out of your war rig.
Salt Colossus is going to walk down the hood and jump off the front fender, and and as they are approaching, what's the leader's name? Taserface?
Grave Dancer.
No, she's got
Not Taserface.
I like Taserface.
That's the yeah.
Taserface.
Salt Colossus is gonna swaggering like the most Mick Jaggery walk ever up to Grave Dancer and say, "Oh, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear what you said, and I doubt that it was important. So, we are here to trade." Yes, because she thinks that he's stupid.
He just looks over at you with a grouchy look on his face.
As arrogant as always, Salt Colossus. Yes, we're here to trade.
Well,
They glare at each other. They just glare at each other for a little bit.
yeah, I feel like it's just a stare down, and Salt Colossus eventually from somewhere under the mask that they're wearing, you hear this high pitched dog whistle, and the salt chariots carrying the minerals kind of come up around. And Salt Colossus is gonna say, "What do you say, Taserface? I show you mine, you show me yours."
That looks like less than we agreed on.
Nobody likes a complainer. Okay, you seem new at this, and she's gonna try to take a pop shot at him.
All right, we got a redemption. Something crazy happens nearby at the same time. So, what type of shot? Are you doing like a fire? Like you're gonna do something to damage or kill him, or are you looking just to injure him?
She has like a sawed-off shotgun, like chained, like the wallet chained to her hip, and she's gonna pull it out and just try to shoot him point blank.
Give me a violence roll, please.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Oh, it is not gonna go well.
Oh no.
Okay, you have options.
Okay.
One is you can either accept that. But there is no imminent danger yet, so you can't use your advantage. But you could
Okay.
use NOS. If you use NOS, you get a reroll. But your violence will go down 1 rank until you actually are able to rest.
I'll take that.
Okay, so click, and then you have a NOS spent, and your violence goes down by 1. And give us another roll. Actually, you get the other roll before the negative. Sorry. So roll and then bring it down by 1. 4, 3, 3 successes.
Also,
That's what
there
it
was
was.
a reroll by McSherry.
There was a
Yeah.
reroll provided, so you didn't need to use your NOS. The audience has spoken. You will get this shot
Thank
off.
you.
All right. So this is what happens. We're gonna move on from that scene for just a second. We see you raise your weapon. We hear a gunshot, and the camera goes black for a second, and it pops back up on Diz. Diz, you're there. You're trading some of whatever the hell you have for some supplies. You see them start getting welded onto, or see some of the repairs being welded onto your vehicle. You got somebody lifting up the axle on your ride, and yeah, it's looking nice. It's looking pretty. It's looking pretty. But then the salt bay rolls into town, and you find yourself like looking out as you see Salt Colossus and crew and the spectacle at the edge of town begin. What do you do?
Whoa, 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 Vostok. Is that who I think it is?
Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yeah. Like barely, like he's like listless. He's like barely paying attention. Yeah. Salt Colossus, right?
Yeah, that's Salt Colossus. What you got? Don't you tell me you're thinking of joining?
Oh, phew. It's a little, it's a little more complicated than that.
What's more complicated than that?
Just just like celebrity stuff, like important people stuff, you know.
He tries not to be offended, but you can tell he very much is.
Yeah, you get it, man. You get it, man. He does like the old slugger on the shoulder there.
And you see him
Anyway.
like we see the camera of him just ball up his fist and just stand there and take it for a second. He knows that
Anyway,
you're
bro.
actually good for certain things, so he's not willing to knock you flat right now.
Anyway, VD bro, we can talk about payment in a second. I'm gonna go check out the La Carnival, if you know what I mean, right?
Your funeral. If you don't come back, I'm taking your car.
I'm coming back. Are you no, I'm gonna come back for my car, bro.
Right. Go ahead. Fine.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
off.
gonna yeah, all right. Chill.
All right.
You good? Did you want to come, or
No.
do you feel like disinvited, or
I prefer all of my giblets intact. I am just a merchant, not a warrior.
what? No, it's Soul Colossus, man. They're cool.
And then bang, a gun goes off in the distance, and you notice the leader of the city fall over sideways.
Yeah. He probably said something rude. It's fine. You just gotta get to know him. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe like tomorrow. I don't know. If it's just like give me like 24 hours at the most.
Diz. Suddenly
What?
vehicles go rushing past you, and the people on bikes, on cars start zooming in, and then you start hearing this in the distance, and you see another cloud approaching very rapidly from the west, the opposite direction from where Salt Colossus came from.
Oh, hey. VD, who's that?
Oh shit. That's the Cult of NOS, man. They just moved in town. They are not cool.
Okay, not cool. Got it. Salt Colossus cool. Cult of NOS not cool. How long is it gonna be on the ride?
Fuck. I don't know. You see him like slowly backing up, scratching his head, thinking, Give me a minute to check my. And he goes inside his door and shuts it. You hear the lock.
Oh, you're shitting me.
A
Nah.
motorcycle then zips overhead above you with flames blasting out the side of it, and gunfire just bap, 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 starts going off into the town.
Sick. Yeah. All right. Cool. Props. Diz like runs over to his car, like power slides under it, and then like elbows the guy out, and then just like checks what's going on with the axle and tries to right it just really quickly.
And you look at it, and you realize that your axle is. Give me a grease monk roll, please.
Haha! I took that.
Ooh. 2 successes. You recognize that your axle is separated. They were planning on replacing the entire axle, so they have taken it off, meaning you have no rear axle on your vehicle right now.
Bro.
Okay, that sucks. Okay. Yeah. All right. That sucks. Are
I
there
think you
any?
need those.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the rumor. Um. uh. They say it's a combustion engine, but they don't tell you about all the other stuff you need. I don't know, man. So Diz is going to look around to see if there's any vehicles that look functional, like for example, a parked motorcycle or something.
Give me a batshit roll.
That's yeah.
All right,
rough.
with a -1, you can either use NOS to re-roll, or you can accept the defeat track, and we'll describe what occurs during this.
We're gonna eat that one. Instead, Diz probably not noticing something. Will likely just try to get out to the salt caravan.
Okay.
Unless you have something more hilarious in mind.
All right, so you start rushing out in that direction. What defeat track do you wish to mark? Volatile, despondent, or doomed? When a player is volatile, they impact those around them. They reduce the successes of the first ally roll per scene. You're despondent. All right.
I'm a sad boy.
Reduce 2 points out of your stats now.
Fuck.
I know, right? It's rough. We're gonna take away violence and sneaky.
Okay, so this is what happens. Diz, you start looking around for the nearest motorcycle or something you can commandeer. And there's a zip, 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 you see like a biker starting to rush down the path nearby. So you think, I can deck him and just swipe the bike. You just jump right in his place, knock him out. You're good to go. And that
Easy.
would have
Done it
worked.
1,000 times.
That would have worked if you hadn't started rushing and you jumped to go shoulder check him and you misgauge slightly and you hit his handlebars instead of the rider. And the two of you start spinning end over end and sliding through the dirt, covered in scratches and whatnot. You find yourself a little bit loosened up. The rider, on the other hand, not so great, has broken his neck. You then start to pick up the wrecked bike. And while it's not perfect, it'll still work.
Sorry, bro. I thought you knew.
So
I thought you knew, bro. I thought like you I don't know, like there was all right, bye.
as Diz like hops on the motorcycle and then starts taking off towards the salt crew, we move back to Chromia. Crow, you have gotten closer and closer to this interesting giant facility, and as you get there, you see like crews of individuals like spreading out through the wastes. Raiders and whatnot going in different directions, hooting and hollering, blasting off music and vehicles covered in flames. And as you get a little bit closer to town, something else catches your attention. Something glittering like diamonds in the sand. A large circular pit that seems to be studded with something shiny. And into it, you see 3 individuals kind of get tossed unceremoniously. As you like move closer and closer through town, the other cultists here just kind of look over to you, and some of them just kind of nod and just say, "For the blue flame! For the blue flame!"
For the blue flame! What's going on in the shiny pit?
You walk over and you can see that there is a mixture of glass
So
shards
I was
of
asking
various
the guy
colors.
what was going on
Oh.
in the shiny pit.
I thought, okay.
Sorry.
Ah, it is the cleansing ritual to find out who will join next. The 3 below will fight to the death. The one remaining has been chosen by the blue flame.
That's neat. So 3. Cool. Okay. The next blue flame, they'll turn into flame. You burn them.
Well, if we burn the remainders, yes. The ones that have won, however, will gain the mark.
And he points to like the scarred N on his forehead.
Ooh, it's not very shiny. But cool anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, you just have fun with your flame. I'm gonna go get a better seat.
You like move closer and closer, and you look down inside where Tireface, you and your brothers are standing amidst this large pit, metal and steel spikes sticking out from every single direction, angled upwards so you can't climb out of them around. They've just kind of dropped you down through the middle on a platform, and standing up above you on a raised pedestal, covered in flames that are kind of like spiraling into the sky around them, is His Reverence Rollo himself. From his position, he like grabs a microphone and he turns to the rest of the crowd outside.
Those of you here, brothers and sisters, I stand before the altar of the blue flame, clean and pure. We gather on this holiest of days to bring together family, to entertain the idea of addition to the mixture of fuel and raw power. Rev the engines of progress. We shall grow in number until the earth is spotted blue and chrome. Those, when you see before you hear, must be tested. They must be tested for good iron, and to make sure the righteousness of blue flame runs through their veins. NOS gives all its chosen, the willingness to forget self in true glory through blood and fire.
The crowd just rah, 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 starts shouting next to him.
Rah!
And with that, the Reverence stands forward and raises his hands once more.
Now let the carnage begin.
And you see them like throwing things down into the pit around you. These little canisters that look like they are filled with some sort of fluid. There happens to be like some spikes and knives and whatnot. And then your brothers kind of turn towards you. In that moment, Splints like looks at you. So this is what it's gonna be then. You and I've always wondered who would win in a fight.
Oh, I mean, well, I gotta say, I don't need references this bad.
And Nailbiter to the side looks at you, like holding him up, and goes, I never wanted to kill you, even though I didn't like your ugly face, but I don't think I'm much of a fight. And you see him just fall over onto the sand, and then the crowd just, yes, like cheers to the side.
I think that was just my face.
As it appears he's dead. From the crowd, Chromia, you can try to assist in some way. They're allowed to throw things and to be part of the crew. And Tireface, you and your brother Splints now face off, arms out, his arms out and stretched around. He's very obviously interested in this fight. And you see him like slowly edging towards one of the sharpened sticks nearby. What do you do?
To which one of us?
Tireface, what do you do first? And then Chromia, if you'd like to assist in some way, let me know.
Yeah. Honestly, Tireface, main goal, what is gonna be the most impressive thing to this potential employer? So is really just trying to get a vibe of what is everyone excited to see? Like, obviously, like there's a lot of different murder tools here.
Give
but
me
only
a
one of them
bad
is
shit
what they
roll.
are.
Let's see what you think they would be the most impressed with.
Yeah, all right, I mean. Well,
You with your ridiculous bad shit. One still gives you a success, so you believe spectacle and glory. The bigger, the grander, the better.
then what I want to do is I want to what Tireface would do then is like basically like ham it up. Like I feel like we're both of similar stock. We both faced the trial by tire, so I feel like he would ham it up. Like let him like like block with a blade and let it get like just barely cut on my cheek, and then push him off, and then like knock a blade away, and then have to pick up another one. Like just not focused on the fight to the death part, just being as impressive as possible, not really caring about
Of course.
the killing part.
Chromia, are you going to assist this individual down here for any reason?
I mean, so there's 2 of them or 3 of them? I thought initially
There's
there was 3, but there's
three,
2.
but one has fallen over and passed out.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one of them is shinier?
That's a good question. I mean, Tire Face happens to have some metal plating on himself and a big wheel that's covered in black iron that's spiky at
And
the
I'm bald.
tips. And he's bald. I mean, that does make him shiny.
Oh,
His brother is also
that's-
bald, but covered in like mud and more darkness, I guess, from all the extra tire tracks he has tattooed all over himself because of the wind.
Well, yeah, I suppose if they're, I know, I'm gonna wait it out because I don't see any reason to get involved at the moment. But I'm not opposed if the, presents itself. I have a favorite. It's the tire face one with the chrome dome.
Okay, so you're seeing them start their battle. They start circling one another, and give me a violence roll to see how well your draw to try to protect yourself here is.
Oh,
2 successes, excellent. So we see Splints like move forward and jab at you with this metal rod, and you like grab a hold of his hand and try to push it back, but not before it pierces your shoulder slightly. And you see like blood starting to run down the crowd. Off to the side.
and this whole time, like, I think one of the biggest problems is that I care too much.
Yeah, still trying to get that job. So he moves in, stabs you in the side, and then he kind of twists to try to knock you to your feet. Do you allow it to happen, or do you do something else?
Yes, I 100% let him knock me to my feet, but when I do so, I want to pull him down so that we're like both on the ground.
Okay, so he trips you down, you fall into your back. He turns to like do that arms raised, I just won thing, and you like grab him as you're going right across the belt and just suddenly pull him, and his pants start to come down with it as he falls over backwards.
Oh my goodness, this is that kind of show.
As you hit the ground, you feel the pain of a ton of little glass shards as they stab into your back from the pit. The smell of burning tire and probably some sort of waste products that have been trashed are nearby. And there's also a bone that sticks up out of the ground where somebody who has been just like incinerated down here after the combats are over was remaining. What do you attempt to do now?
Remaining.
We already know what your violence looks like. Now it's time to use another capability.
As the scent of tire hits me, my pupils dilate. The time slows down. We hear like, boom, 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 and I just like just start slamming my former friend just into the ground. Just
give me a batshit roll as your crazy kicks in.
Never again.
Never again with the tires. Oh my god, it's exploding. We got 3 successes that time. So you just start bang, bang. We see you slam him on the back and he just kind of like shudders and he like hits the ground breathing heavy. You hear a crack as you break his clavicle. And from the position, he kind of rolls out to the side of you and moves aside. And then he reaches over and he grabs whatever that canister thing is that was on the ground. And you hear the audience just, so they all start yelling and chanting for that.
Can I shoot it out of his hand?
Yeah, use your chrome shotgun.
It's shiny. Uh-huh.
Give me a violence roll.
Plus, I think I might be in love. What would that be?
Violence roll.
Oh, I'm not that violent.
Ooh.
I believe in you.
You got one
I'm
success.
a little bit violent.
You are a little bit violent. So,
you make me want to be a more violent woman.
So your shotgun comes out and you lean down and bang, and the gun goes off and it like scatters across the individual's hand, and that little canister like flips through the air and lands in the sand right next to Tire Face. Some of the audience nearby looks over and goes, yeah, kill him. And they're just like engrossed in what's occurring. And one of the NOS heads nearby turns to Chromie and looks at you.
Where you get that gun?
What gun?
I saw a gun. I swear I saw a gun.
Oh, was it a big, giant, shiny gun that said shiny on it?
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's certainly not right in front of you. I think you might have had a little too much sun today. I know it's very exciting to watch a guy get creamed with a tire.
Chromia,
you're being weird.
Give me a sneaky roll now. One success.
Oh, all of that for one.
He just
I
goes.
got an advantage
Uh,
from Doyle.
You have an advantage from Doyle.
Unless
Okay.
that was successful, and then I'll just bank that. I don't know what to
Extra violence is Doyle's advantage for you. So you can put down Love's violence now
just as a treat.
as a treat.
As Miss Fortune said. You know, just to treat myself when I've been a good girl.
All right. But if you wish to re-roll that, you rolled a. Why is it saying toughness? Weird. Anyways, if you use that roll, one success is enough. This is a Nos head who hallucinates on occasion. So
No, let's just go with the one, because it wouldn't be
he's-
violent anyway. I'm just lying.
Yeah, he stands there and he just goes, and he looks back immediately, like his attention drawn to the spectacle down below. Tireface, that little globe like rolls next to you.
And I grab it and hold it above his face and scream. And the most important thing you need to know is I always take the initiative. And I just slam it into
As we
his
see
face as a
slow mo
killing blow.
Tireface with this thing, we hear the crowd like chanting,
Nos! 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 Nos!
and as you slam that into his head, you just see blue flames just, and your friend just staggers around a bit before like slamming into the ground. You're having to put out flames on your hands now because that stuff splattered all over you.
A raving review.
As you like raise your hands to the sky, the reverence turns and goes,
A winner has been chosen! Good one, good one. Bring him up and give him the brand.
and you see like
I'd love to talk about that.
a section of the metal scaffolding starts to be pulled away, and a few of the cultists move down to where you're at. The scene fades, and we find ourselves back out with Salt Colossus. You have just shot the leader of Scraptown. You see his head just boom, and some of his retainers nearby and everything just look at you in surprise. And you see them like very quickly reaching for their weapons. Some of the individuals on bikes nearby start grabbing for theirs. What do you say? Do you wish to disarm this situation or inflame it?
So what Salt Colossus is gonna do is put the shotgun away and roll the dude's body over and take whatever I imagine is like a pin or like a pendant, something that makes him mayor, and they're gonna take it and like pin it onto themselves and turn to his people and say, "It seems that our two parties are now making a merger. The severance package, not great, but if you join us, I'll let you live."
Give me a legend roll, please, Salt Colossus.
I would love to.
Thought you were gonna double entendre that about severance package versus severed
Yeah.
package.
Oh
Ooh,
no!
that is
All right,
a negative.
I'm gonna
one.
use a NOS. I'm gonna use a NOS.
All right, one nos. That means that after this roll, your legend goes down by one.
Okay.
Here we go again, and no successes. What that means is that you're not necessarily defeated here, but it doesn't quite hold the impact you were hoping for. You've used one of your nos for tonight. All right, so you yell that out, and the second in command steps forward. You know him as Pipe Walk, and he looks at you. You are tough, but you're not the next in line, I'm sorry. That's me. And you know what? I tell you what. Water under the bridge, or fuel under the bridge, gazo under the bridge, whatever the saying would be. You and I, we see eye to eye. You know what this is? This is something that could be a very beneficial deal in both parts. You don't want to have to stay down here and control Scrap Town. Why not have someone work as a vassal, control it for you? A duke, as you say. I know your forces are strong. You didn't bring them all. Our town still has plenty.
You know, there really is nothing that just does it for me quite like a man ready to roll over and let me do what I want. because I don't do the whole compromise thing, so I am very pleased that you are a beta. This will go well for you. So, if if you ever have ideas that maybe you could take something that is mine, I want you to know I will pay your own children to murder you.
Mm. That's good that I don't have any children yet. But you wouldn't have to worry about it. You see, I see what your game is, and I like the idea of authority. I enjoy being told what to do. Makes my job easier. Tell you what, hey, 20% off, but 30. What up? Just give the scrap to our boss man here. All right, all right. Capiche? Got it? Yeah. You see some of the other individuals around kind of scratching their head, but they seem to be moving into a position to obey. They'd rather not have all-out war. But in that moment, as you see some of the carts of scrap and a couple of old machine parts and some military hardware starting to move your direction, you didn't want to have to go to the bullet farm anyways. It's a problem. You don't like some of the denizens there. You hear the sound of bikes. You hear the sound of ambush, maybe? And looking out to the side, you see blue flames and a shiny blue vehicles kind of moving in your direction from the sands. Oh shit! It's a cult. It's a cult of NOS. They just moved into the west of here not too long ago. Looks like they heard about this whole transfer. And you see them like circling around, hooping and hollering. Their numbers continue to pour in. You know that they are vastly outnumbering you. Your crew like looks down, and Tungage from the side just goes, "Boss, shoot them, light them up."
Uh, are they still like actively circling, or has like someone stopped?
They are still actively circling at the moment.
Salt Colossus is gonna walk back to her doom buggy and grab a lance, one of the lancer lances that has an explosive on the end, and try to thread it through like either someone running over it, or it would be super cool if I could get it like through the spokes and more carnage.
All right. Give me a batshit roll in this situation because I feel like what you're doing is poking a bear. Salt Colossus walks over, climbs up onto her rig, reaches down and pulls one of the spears that's just kind of free dangling there with the explosive on the tip, and just woof. We see it fly through the air and then land perfectly to hit a couple of bikes that are kind of rushing off the other direction. As they explode, multiple additional explosions go off in the air as the fuel they're carrying goes up. And as the explosion goes off, you see a bunch of the individuals that are surrounding you just start "Nos, Nos," like yelling out about it in the distance. And then you see a rather large vehicle move that you haven't seen before. Slowly on the edge of the horizon, there is a squat, square vessel with treads that happens to have a series of large, heavily armored tanks around the outside of it that it seems to kick onto high gear. You see flames bursting out the back as an M1 Abrams tank that is loaded with NOS starts zipping across the sand towards you. And there's a ka-tunk, and you hear a woo in your direction. Diz, you happen to be zipping over towards the Salt individuals. What is they? The Salt Clan? What is your name as a crew? We don't have that yet.
Man, I didn't think about
The
that.
Colossals.
The
The co-
salty bitches.
That.
The Salty Bitches. You head to the Salty Bitches, and as you're getting closer, Diz, you turn and look out to the side to notice a tank fire off a shell that, as you can see it just zipping through the air, seems to be heading towards the major center of the convoy. What are you doing right now?
Diz cranks it as hard as he can, heading towards the Salty Bitches convoy. And he's like, I saw this on A Team 6. And he pulls out a submachine gun that kind of looks like a Tech 9, and he takes aim and tries to, while he is like gunning it on the dirt bike, and tries to like shoot the projectile.
I'm gonna have you give me a driving roll for this one. That is a like 60 grain projectile, a very large one that is made solidly of metal and not an explosive.
Jesus.
You got a
Emma,
-1 Diz. All right.
I'll nos that.
Okay. So your driving is gonna go down by 1 after the roll. So you get 1 more die still. There you go.
I get one more.
So you got 4. Oh man, it turned into a 4 instead. Nice. Okay. So zipping through, you start firing, and you see a couple of your bullets hit. We see them like zip through the air, and there's just like a spark as you hit this projectile that's flying through the air. There's a re-roll given to Diz, so you can take away the NOS after all.
Hey.
And as that spark hits, we see this thing like slow-mo spin slightly to the side. It had been coming over and arcing directly towards the center of Salt Colossus's war rig, but instead it is diverted just a little bit towards the back. And as it crashes into it and punctures like some of the fuel that's there, the vessel just goes up. There's a massive explosion. Salt Colossus, you are launched from the wreckage, and Diz, you crash into Salt Colossus as the two of you are buried in waste and sand and grit.
So romantical.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is the motorcycle still operable?
His motorcycle?
Yes.
Give me Grease Monk.
Me or
Her.
them?
Salt Colossus is looking.
Okay.
You're not sure.
Okay. Just like real life. So Salt Colossus, I imagine, would end up on the bottom of this. And I can't help but think that Diz Apollo would not fathom that like somebody else would necessarily come before him. So he's probably sitting on their back, like pushing their face into the sand. And when they come up, the first thing they're gonna do is grab Diz by the front of his shirt and say, "Who are you? What do you want?"
Diz is gonna kind of go wide-eyed and be like, "Yo, Salt, it's me. It's Diz.
As
You remember me?"
as you're pinned under Diz temporarily, you see like gunfire going around, some of your crew returning fire, some of the individuals in Scraptown also shooting, but many of them turn and flee back into the safety of their homes. Looking out to the side, Diz and Salt, both of you can see that when they go inside, the NOS heads leave them alone. So, as the two of you are sitting there, kind of stuck together, you see them circle around, and a couple of larger vessels kind of stop off to the side, and a large individual steps out with a heavy hammer.
Looks like we got ourselves a warlord.
And a solid swing of the hammer later, and bing! Diz is hit across the side of the head, and everything goes wonky sideways. And then bam! And Salt, you go out as well. And you feel yourself over a period of time being drug away. So we return back to the Cult of NOS at the Cathedral. Tireface, you have been brought
I
out.
just got that.
Some of your brothers are like lifting you up on their shoulders, and Chromia is standing just off to the side. Someone who looks different than the others. What was that?
Well, I was actually gonna follow him around.
Yes, so that's you're right there behind them. So as they like lift you up, and they're like NOS, 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 as you're up on their shoulders, and you're feeling righteous, you're feeling vindicated, you're feeling lifted up, you're exalted even, and you see this individual that doesn't bear the mark standing amidst the crowd. Nobody seems to notice. What do you do or say?
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I'm happy this part of the interview went incredibly. I'm excited to talk to the management.
Chromia moving along beside them. You see them leading him to a large flat table with chains on either side, and they're getting ready to strap him to said table.
Where do they have their tattoos on their forehead?
Middle of the forehead.
You know, what would make his beautiful, beautiful, shiny chrome head less shiny would be a stupid N in the middle of it.
That's true.
I might not want this to happen. So I'm gonna watch for an opportunity to maybe. Well, is he on the table? Where is he?
He's being carried on their shoulders right now as an audience around them is kind of cheering, and you're walking towards a table with shackles for the legs and the hands, and a large furnace with a big barrel-chested man that is covered in scars, like standing in front of a blowtorch that seems to be radiating blue flame, just that he's heating a metal in.
Waiting
Okay.
for an opportunity because it seems like there's a lot of things going on right now, but it would be really, really tragic to ruin that perfect head.
All right. So you are all traveling forward, and we will move back to Salt Colossus. You awaken to the sound of cheering and jeering and individuals celebrating something. Your head aches fierce. It's been a long time since you felt this kind of pain. Maybe when you walked across the desert that one time. That was a bad problem. And inside of the chamber nearby, you've got Tungage there, just kind of laying on the ground, seriously wounded, a large cut in his side that's still bleeding, but he's breathing. And then to your right is Diz Apollo with a rather serious goose egg on the side of his face. Since he's not here, he's going to be unconscious until he returns.
Oh no.
Play fair.
From your position inside of a cage, you can see a small, looks like maybe an old war boy or something, that's lifted up and seems to be joining the cult. You can see someone with white hair and shiny bits all over her, completely ignored by the others, not bearing a mark of this cult that you've heard of and had at the fringes of your lands for a little while now. That's like looking around for things. And you lock eyes with her for a moment. Looking over Chromia, you see someone that strikes an imposing figure, although part of her face is covered in sticky blood that is shiny. She seems to have a lot of equipment upon herself that is interesting to look at. And the bullets on her face mask still intact. How do you react?
To Salt Colossus?
Yeah, you recognize her as a warlord from the area. For some reason here,
Oh.
and some reason in a cage.
Huh. I bet I could get lots of shinies if I got a ransom for that Salt Colossus person. But his head's so shiny. But more shinies. Oh, what do I do? I'm indecisive.
As Chromia kind of staggers around. The little crow flies over onto her shoulder. What's the name of your crow again?
Pablo.
Pablo.
Pablo. What? What is it, Pablo? What should I do?
Pablo drops this tiny silver key in your hand.
A tiny silver key. I can put it in my pocket. And thank you for the shiny. I'll take out a little whatever, like crumb of some food, rotten meat. I don't know.
Some old rotten meat. You hand it over and just.
There you go. That's good. Okay, Pablo, this is what I want you to do. Okay, I need you to distract those guys so that I can steal the shiny-headed guy, and then he and I can go over and free Salt Colossus so we can get all the shinies.
The crow just goes caw, caw, and just starts floating off, flying around for a little bit. If you would, how do you wish to get this? Are you going to do something a little bit insane, or are you going to try to sneak over and find a way to get Tireface out while people are distracted by something?
Is there anything explosive in the look over there direction of the crowd?
There are containers of NOS surrounding this entire compound.
Okay. I would like to, my theory, the thing I'd like to do is to explode things in the look over there area snatch the shiny-headed tire-face guy, and then sneak through the crowd to the cage and then play it by ear.
All right, so you're gonna do something sneaky here, or if you want to get loud, it would be either batshit or violence. If you want to be sneaky, you're gonna go and like set it up to explode. So your choice.
I think at this point I only really have time to go batshit.
Okay, batshit it is. Go ahead and give me a batshit roll.
Is this violence? This could be violence. Shrapnel. Shrapnel
Yeah.
from exploding things goes through people and there's so much blood, and that's violence.
It is.
Right?
Batshit is shooting a canister of NOS surrounded by other canisters of NOS inside of an entire fort filled with NOS.
But I love violence, so I also get the advantage to that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
Okay. I just want to clarify. I just want an extra roll in case I need it.
All right. Oh, that's
That's
zero
just a practice.
successes.
It's fine.
All right. That
Or
time you got
Is that enough?
4
Is that
successes.
good? Is that a success?
That works. All right. So
Yay.
Chromia just raises her shotgun, her shiny chrome shotgun, and points it off in the distance. Bang! Hoping nobody's
Look
gonna be able
over
to.
there!
Diz, from your position before the explosion, you kind of wake up and you've got the worst hangover. No, the worst concussion. That's the name for it. The worst concussion ever. And as you like shake your head, you turn to see the bright shining eyes of a fury-filled face of Salt Colossus nearby.
Hey, Salt. Hey, Salt. Did you give it a think?
I want you to know that the only thing that is keeping me from killing you right now is the fact that I'm not dead.
What?
So,
What do you mean? What? No, we're cool. I thought we were cool.
you sent me a love letter.
It was fan mail.
It used the words, I love you.
Yeah, but like
Bleh,
in like the
bleh,
From
like,
the
in
nearly
like
dead body of Tongue Gauge nearby, you hear him go,
come on. It's more like the in like the Brotherhood of Man sort of, unless that's what you're like into, because then like I'm down. I think I'm a killer driver. You're killer, like like killer comma mass in your Wikipedia entry. Like I don't know, that could be like a thing. It could work.
Diz, you
That's
hear
what-
the shouting of the crowd as they are moving Tireface over to be branded while they're setting up another arena battle nearby. And you happen to just kind of glance out to the side and you see your car being driven by a few individuals that are like shouting from the back seat. Look at the spoils of war that they've gotten. And you see that they've attached 2 hideous barrels of NOS directly on the top and the back of it, setting it up to be an explosive rig designed to crash into and explode on impact.
Can it also have those douchey underlights?
Hell yes.
Oh yeah, it does.
Douchey
Oh,
underlights.
come on.
They
And
just
the
got,
the black sky with the star ceiling, like.
but it's but it's if they just have like RGB lights.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, come on, Saul, you gotta help me. They can't. That's not even aesthetic. Like,
So you see, besides that, the individual who is in charge, like walking over in the direction of you and Salt Colossus. As he comes up to the edge of the bars, you see some of his retainers standing there with weapons pointed at you all. He looks in and goes, "Oh my, excellent to see you here. How have you been?"
I'm been good.
I
been
wasn't
alright.
talking to you, I'm talking to real people. Salt
my bad.
Colossus,
Sorry.
you may not remember me, but I used to service your vehicles. And you did not like my ideas. You did not like the idea of the glory of Blue Flame. You found it petulant and tossed me in a ravine. And now who's laughing? I am.
Let you watch the Fast and the Furious movie once. and I'll never forgive myself.
Oh, which one?
Which one?
Was it 25 or 26? I don't
No,
remember.
was it 67?
Doesn't matter. The two of you are petulant idiots. I'm going to drag both of you by chains to the center of the tower, lifting you to the heavens where you can be sacrificed to Nos. You see, like, the top of the cathedral just.
I have a question.
Me too.
You keep using the word petulant. Do you have like a word of the day calendar? Like, come on, man.
It's one of those
Why
things
is-
he learns like one word, and then like that's just what he uses until he
Stop
learns
being petulant! And you see him, like, turn to his crew, and he's like, get them ready. Knock them out. Use all the Nos you need. And you see him, like, turn and start walking away. They move to the edges of the container that you're being held in, and you hear, and the room starts to have a decidedly metallic and kind of mushroomy smell.
Would it be me because I have a respirator?
Not for a long time.
So Salt Colossus is gonna like look kind of out through the crowd to sort of see what's going on like ahead of them.
Right now,
And-
as you stare, before you make a decision,
Okay.
you happen to hear the sound of this Nos filling the room. You know that this does have impacts on people. It can make them a little bit weird. And you've heard that this cult mixes it in with psilocybin, which could be problematic to some. From your position, you now know that the room is starting to fill with this. And as you look over, you see that shiny chrome individual point a shiny chrome shotgun, and boom, a gunshot goes off, and you see a tank off to the right of you explode into fire, and the audience turns and, oh, Nos, Nos, they start like yelling about it. And then you see another barrel go up, and another one nearby go up, and you see them chaining in the direction of the thing that you guys are currently standing inside of that is now filled with fuel.
So, Salt Colossus is gonna look at Diz and say, I'll get the guard, you get the keys, and is just gonna run over because I imagine whoever turned the knobs on turned toward the explosion when
Absolutely.
it happened. So they're turned away and they're gonna reach through the bars and just beat their head against the bars till they lose consciousness.
That sounds like a violence roll for me. So why don't you roll, and then we'll tell you what the results are after we return to your scene in just a second. Ooh, we got ourselves a bounce. There's 2 successes. Excellent. We'll move over to Tireface. Tireface, you're raised up. They start to put you down on the platform, and right as you're about to reach that ascendance where you're just about to get marked with glory, an explosion goes off. Nos has deemed you worthy. You see the flames going up all around you, and the audience is just like, clear and blue, and they're yelling about it, thinking that, you know, there's some sort of divine thing happening all around. And then
There
suddenly someone has like your arm and is pulling you through the crowd suddenly. Chromia, you've grabbed a hold of Tireface and have started sprinting in another direction.
I'm sprinting. Hi. That was a really cool thing you did, but you shouldn't get that mark on your head because your forehead is so nice the way it is. Let's go over here, though.
Sure.
Sure. You pull him beside a small crate and off to the edge. And
This
you
is what I
see
told you.
explosions
You do
going
good
up
work.
through the
Headhunters
compound.
find you.
And you see the explosions heading towards the cage that you saw Salt Colossus in and a couple of other people.
Ooh. We should probably go over there and get Salt Colossus because they're this big, like, Salt Warlord and really important. And then
Probably looking for some employees. Let's do it.
for sure. Let's do it.
So you begin sprinting across the compound, trying to race ahead of the explosions that are happening. If you'll both give me a batshit roll as you are both running, trying to
fine.
stay ahead of fire. We got a 3 and a 2, so both of you are sprinting very rapidly. Tireface, you stumble a couple of times, and Chromie has to like kind of reach back and grab a
Pull
hold of your arm.
Come on.
So, Salt Colossus, with your success before
Oh, Nat 21 Adventures, thank you for the raid!
Nat 20 Adventures, thank you very much. Nat 21, you are awesome. Everybody check them out as
We're
well.
exploding things.
We are. So Solid Colossus reaches out from the side of the bars, grabs a hold of one of the slack-jawed yokels that is just staring at the beautiful flames, and just bang, head against the bars. You see him just, and then slump down onto the ground nearby. Diz, what do you do in that moment? Because Salt gave you an order.
Yeah, Salt just Diz, literally at the moment of the ping, Diz just like gingerly reaches around and starts like rooting through the dude's like situation, trying to find the key.
Give me a sneaky.
Boy, that's
Sneaky.
rude. Digging around in someone's situation.
Wait, can I fight for Grease Monkey and say that I'm like going after his belt, like his utility belt situation here?
Yeah, I mean, I'd let you use Grease Monk.
I'm
for
not
that.
trying to be stealthy about this.
Go for Grease Monk. So you know the workings of this particular brand of belt, and you know how to unclip it one-handed because you've had to do this on occasion. So you reach around the
Yeah,
bar, you give him a reach around, you unclip his belt in one grasp, and then suddenly back through the bars inside. You're now holding a utility belt. It's got a knife on it, a couple of shivs, one of those little canisters of NOS. It's got some supplies. You will now have an advantage. So write down utility belt. If it could exist on a small utility belt, you might be able to use it.
Careful giving me too wide of parameters there, Ty.
I still have veto.
I pull out the batarang.
I have veto power.
Of
Anyways,
course, it's a batarang on a utility belt.
So
That's
you
just
look-
logic.
you look
The
for a
bat's
moment,
sharp.
and you start like reaching onto the belt and searching through it. And there's a small key ring. But as you lift it up, you see that a section of it is loose, like the ring has a gap, and there is no key on it.
Oh, come on. Diz is gonna he's standing right here, and it probably just fell out somewhere, and he's gonna like look around in the dust outside the cage.
All right, so you like start looking in the dust, and you see getting closer and closer and closer. And then you see a shiny, feathery lady with a crow that's like flying over her shoulder, rushing towards you with a tire-faced war boy that just like staggers in your direction up to the bars. And you see the explosion's only like 20 feet away, 15 feet away. What do you do, Chromia, as you reach the bars?
Hey guys, there's an explosion on the way coming. What's the holdup? Shall we get her out of there?
No! Unlock us!
Unlock? What do you need to unlock it?
The key!
A key? I have a key.
She like pulls out a little silver key.
Does it work?
The lock comes undone.
Pablo, you're such a bestest bird.
As soon as the tumbler clicks over, Salt Colossus is moving, and she has grabbed they have grabbed the whole group, and they are heading toward whatever exit is closest, and it's just like
Hands-on management. I love it.
Yeah, no. Salt.
Imagine all
And he
being
points
held.
over it.
as
Yeah.
you're
Points over
going.
at Gretchen. Salt. That way. Towards the rig. Towards the car. Come on.
she'll follow.
All right,
She'll
so you
follow.
all turn and begin sprinting towards the vehicle. If you would all give me one legend roll, please.
Ha. Easy.
We all did it at once.
We got Diz with a 1, Salt with a 1, Chromia with no legend, and Tireface with no legend. That was a hell of a thing.
I rolled so many sixes, and all my exploding sixes rolled into one.
That's true. Would you like to
I
use
invoke
NOS?
my advantage of being a survivor of the trial by tire.
You can. You've
I
had
can-
to run
I
from
made it through
flames
those.
before.
So is that just a full reroll?
Yes, it is. And if you
Okay.
fail this, you will lose that
Oh.
0.
Oh.
You will
I mean-
lose.
Not a fail, right?
So theoretically speaking, though, if Salt Colossus is carrying us all, they said they scooped us up and ran, and they
It's true.
succeeded. So why would we even have to
They are
roll?
quite large
Yeah.
and in charge.
And I'm
Tire-
quite small.
So Tireface, you will have to remove survival of the trial by tire unless you spend a NOS and reroll.
No, definitely. Yeah.
There's a reroll for McSherry.
Hey!
Forcing one.
McSherry has so many freaking channel points.
You're doing it again.
Yes.
You're doing it again. That's still a 0. So unless you spend NOS, you have
I'll
now
spend
lost.
a NOS.
Okay, 1 NOS.
Whatever reason,
Good lord.
the dice.
One
roll was so
success!
fun.
Hey!
One
I still need
success!
to roll a success, right?
You are still a
Or
survivor.
am I being
treble tap.
carried?
You will be carried still with the rolls that have
I wanna
happened. You'll be
carried.
okay.
That sounds like, that sounds nice. Who
Okay.
like being carried?
So with one legend from Diz and Salt and Tireface, this is what happens. So we see you all immediately get shoved out by Salt Colossus, who just starts to like tug everybody up. Tireface and Diz, the two of you kind of launch off your feet, get a move on immediately. As Diz, you turn to Salt and say that you need to get over to Gretchen. You turn and start sprinting in that direction towards your vehicle, towards your war chariot, and behind you the explosions going off, getting larger and larger and larger. Chromia completely fireman carried by Salt Colossus, with Diz and Tireface rushing. We see the flames like blast over them, blue heat from behind, a shockwave as it is that shoves you forward somewhat. And as the flame disperses, we then see all of you just kind of running out of it, the blue flames licking off of your shoulders as some of the NOS cultists nearby kind of turn in spectacle and stare in awe for a moment that you have run through the flames unscathed. As you rush towards
Chromie is
Gretchen,
putting flames out on Salt Colossus.
as you rush towards Gretchen, the Reverence like turns, grabs a hold of a mic nearby, or a whatever, the things that make your voice
Loudspeaker.
louder. Loudspeaker,
Microphone.
yes. And then he gets a hold of it and goes,
After them, you idiots! Do not allow the Colossus to leave. Kill all of her friends.
and you see them like start rushing after everybody there very, very quickly. So
Also, just as a point of order, Cosmic Crush had Tireface find cool glasses that help him walk away from explosions.
All right. I'll write
All right.
that down.
Tireface, your advantage is now cool glasses. We see you like grab something off of the back of a vehicle or a section of metal nearby, and you bring it up to your face, and now you've got chrome shiny glasses on your visage, with a tire mark where they're slightly bent because something drove over it. And you rush across the distance and slide to a halt next to Gretchen. There are two cultists nearby. One of them reaches down, grabs a hold of an explosive spear, and goes to throw it at Salt Colossus. Diz, you're in front, so I will allow you to act first to see what you do.
So Diz, being a stuntman, does the thing where he does like the hands crossed and then like tosses it off to the side.
Excellent. So give me a violence roll.
Uh-oh.
2 negative ones. Diz.
Ugh.
Unless you NOS, which would reduce your violence down by 1, you're gonna have to take another defeat track.
I mean, if I NOS, then my violence is 1, and that's super bad.
So
You're just growing
so
weaker and weaker.
Let me speak because I think this might work out.
Okay.
As this is happening, because I thrive in imminent danger and like a spear coming at me is imminent danger, I should be able to use my advantage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to say that Salt Colossus is going to see it coming, and as they see this this spear coming at them, they're gonna kick off one of the tanks in NOS and roll it towards the cultists, grab the spear, flip it around, and ignite it in front of them.
Ooh, give me a bad shit.
Yes! Oh, I'm so ready for this.
Ah, that's a -1. That's not going to turn out the way you want, but
Wait, how do we roll with advantage? Because I just did
you just roll it
mine.
again. You get a second
Oh.
roll.
So you can use the advantage to reroll.
That is 2 successes.
Woo!
And there's a +1 to Diz, which gives you +1 to your stats. So you are going to lose, I think in this moment, you're going to lose the violence. Goes down to 1, but you could use that +1 to bring it back up if you'd like.
No. I'm going to increase my bat shit instead.
Okay, that makes sense. So, Salt Colossus, you're carrying Chromia. Do you just drop her on the ground, or there's another one to Diz?
I feel like I would have put Chromia, like as we were coming around the vehicle, I would have put her on the closest door that I was by. So either the
Okay.
passenger in the front of the back.
So you put her down, you grab a hold of the barrel of NOS, you kick it forward, you jump up into the air and grab the end of the spear like right before it just, and it stops in front of your face. You flip it around and just throw it. As it arcs through the air, we see Diz move over to the side of his vehicle, kind of tired. Chromia, you're on your side where the door is. You immediately pull it open. You're going to get in. You're going to try to assist in holding off a few of these cultists in some way.
I'm gonna open the door, get in, and then have my rifle out the crook of the door and start shooting.
All right, give me a violence roll from you. The explosion goes off in the distance, and we see two of the cultists that were nearby just launch through the air and then slam into the ground, blasted. Chromia moves in, moves the door out, and we see fragments of metal just dink, dink, dink into the doorway of Gretchen. And then Chromia sits inside.
Oh, come on!
You defended
I
yourself
didn't
with
do
you defended yourself with the door, and then out comes the shotgun, and she starts blasting away and starts taking out a few of these that are running in her direction.
So
Thank
Diz
you for
throws up.
this gift subs, McSherry.
Hey.
You
I will
guys are
give
good
everyone a +1 to their capabilities because of the gift bomb there.
All of them,
Just one.
every
Oh,
capability. I
One
heard
point.
one for every
You have 1
capability.
point to put in.
No.
So Diz looks over at Tireface, and as he throws open the driver's side door, and he actually kicks the driver's side door, and there's a secret compartment that has a gun in it. And he's like, hey, I don't have time for names. I'm just gonna call you Tireface. Here, and he throws him the gun.
Great. Yes.
So you get into the side of the vehicle, on the side the I guess you're in the passenger side left, and Chromia went into the driver's side right or the passenger side right.
It would be wherever I was put.
Okay, so that'd be driver's side, no, passenger side right back, and then Salt Colossus moves into the passenger seat, and Diz hops in the driver's. As you slam the door shut, we see everybody just pull their doors. We see Chromia firing out the side. We see Tireface turn. Let's see how well you're able to keep some threats at bay. Tireface, give me a violence roll.
I mean,
Ooh. Two
Only
successes.
negated one.
Yes, you have like the most up and down situation happening all the time with your rolls.
here's what the problem. If my dice didn't explode, I'd be doing better this game.
But you know you're all about the drama. So
True that.
this is
So
a
you
long
turn
back
and you
and
fire
forth.
out the side and you hold off many of the forces. With the amount of successes that you have, I'm going to say that they aren't able to get near you before Diz is able to light up the engine. So Diz, you stop into your seat. We see like the door slam shut.
Thank
we
you
see...
for the gift subs. Hey Doyle.
I will do one more time. +1 to your capabilities. You get 1 capability to increase.
I'm using my driving again.
So
Just
you are
upping my
now
violence.
going to be moving into some dangerous scenes. In certain parts of dangerous scenes, a 5 or higher is necessary to gain successes, so 4s and lower will be removed. At this point, Diz, we just see like, okay, car keys come out. We see them like shove into there in one of those camera quick shots, and we go back to the exhaust, and we see flames just out the side. You see that they've installed a really ugly red button in the middle of your console as you turn over and look to the side.
Button.
No one touches the button. No one touch it. Not what
Oh,
we've
but
got.
I want to touch the button so bad.
That's not what buttons are for.
Buttons are for pushing. This is a very good point.
Why else
Okay.
would you make a button?
It's the destiny of the button to be pushed. You're
Gunfire
denying
is
its
going
destiny.
off around you, and you see like your windshield go, and a bullet just like ricochets off the deck of the hood of your vehicle.
Oh, well, we've got explosive canisters of NOS on the car.
So
Oh.
Colossus is going to like reach under the seat, because if he was serious about working for me, what I want would be there. and reach under, and there would be like one of those magnets like used to pull things out of doors. And Salt Salt Colossus is how badly damaged is the windshield?
It's got a few bullet holes in it and cracks that are starting to appear.
Can he see or can he not?
It will impair vision, but not a lot.
Okay. So Salt Colossus is gonna I imagine their window's already down because, you know, whoever had it before was riding dirty. They're gonna turn so they're facing behind, stick the magnet to the top to hang on, and then is gonna try to pick off people that are coming behind them.
All right. What are you using to pick them off? Are you just going to try to like swing out and smack them, or do you have a weapon of some kind?
I have my oh no, I don't have my shotgun.
Not at the moment.
Ugh.
I'll
Can I
just
roll?
wordlessly
Can I roll
my
Grease
gun.
Monkey with Hot Rod named Gretchen to shout at Salt Colossus? Yo, passenger side. See if they didn't find it.
Give me Grease Monk. Yep. Let's see if you succeeded in hiding away a weapon. That is 2. Give me your other roll as well. Let's see which one is the higher. 1. Yep, with 2 successes. We're gonna say a light gauge shotgun. So out pops like a single action shotgun. You have to lever action shotgun.
Called the boss.
The boss.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so it just pops up into your hands, and then you like magnet on the ceiling. You swing out, and you begin shooting out the side. So we are now in an escape scene. You're going to see if you're able to get out of this compound without too much damage here.
I'm compelled to push the shiny button.
There unfortunately was a something crazy happens nearby, and there was a prompt of, it's a shiny red button, and we know what this means. So during this scene, Chromia, I think you're gonna try to push the button.
I think I'm gonna push the button.
I'm not gonna try. Do or do not.
Yep.
There is no
There
try.
is no try. So you
I
will be
will be
rolling
pushing.
sneaky. Everybody's gonna roll at the same time on this as we take the scene. You're gonna be rolling sneaky. Salt Colossus, you're gonna be rolling batshit as you literally fling yourself outside the vehicle and start shooting at people while like holding on to something with one hand. Tire Face, what are you going to be doing to try to help everybody get out of this problem?
I'm gonna slightly solve the button problem, but only halfway, because I'm gonna break off one of the big tanks of NOS so that it collides with pursuing vehicles.
All right, so you're like lean out the
Like
side,
bowling.
and you lean over onto the back of the vehicle, and you're getting ready to try to break this big
This
chunk
is a
of NOS off.
workplace hazard.
Diz, you're going to be driving, so I'm going to be making you roll driving. So we see the vehicle rev up really quickly and start like zipping through the center of crowd nearby, and some of the cultists are just like bang, bang, knocked out of the way. And you see a large gate that's just trundling shut as they're trying to get it closed. So in this moment, Salt Colossus will be keeping some of the threats off of the vehicle, keeping it less from getting harmed. Chromia, you're doing your best to push the button. Tire Face, you're trying to release the NOS barrels. And Diz, you're driving. So if you all would, give me your rolls, and we'll see how this plays out.
I have one question. Because we're in imminent danger, do I get...
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Holy shit, there's some serious rolls happening here. Okay. Let's see. Salt Colossus, you got a 4 as your biggest roll. Chromia, you got a 2. Diz, you got a 4, but you are driving your vehicle, so you get... Oh, you had 2 rolls there. Okay. No, you didn't.
I didn't do.
You get one more, because you're in Gretchen. All right. Ooh. Nice. Diz
Can I
got
have
3.
the one he doesn't use?
What's that?
Yeah, I know, right?
He rolled a 4 and then a 3, and he's gonna discard the 3. I'm just saying, I'm a recycling kind of gal, and I'd use it.
True, right? All right. So what did you get, Tire Face? You got a 1. Okay. With your 1 and with Chromia's 2, Chromia's gonna get to the button before you've got this tank off
Yeah.
entirely.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sorry if I explode you.
All right, so in this moment, this is what happens. We see Diz driving, pumping the gas or the brakes in the gas, kind of drifting side to side, trying to go around some vehicles that are trying to pull in the way, heading towards that gate as rapidly as possible. Salt Colossus flings themselves out from the side of the vehicle, gunshots going off here and there, knocking down targets, individuals standing there getting ready to throw explosive spears, people rushing towards weapons, some going to their cars. Bang! Kind of Terminator style, where you flip the whole gun, and then you fire again, and you flip the whole gun, and you fire again. Chromia's Crow Pablo can steal rolls because crows are smart enough to be meta. So you get a reroll, Chromia.
Well, I got a 2. Can I kick it over to Tire Face over there?
You could, yes. I'll let you use that to assist Tireface. Tireface, Chromia's crow flies over and starts like pecking around near your hand.
I don't want you to blow up because like scars and crusty burns are not shiny. They're mostly kind of matte and pussy.
All right.
Not my color.
Go ahead and give us a reroll, please, Tireface. Now this is supposed to be bad shit, so make sure you're still rolling that.
That's what I thought I rolled, but ooh.
Oh, it goes again, and this time 3 successes. You did end up above Chromia, so you're gonna trigger this with the crow's assistance. You have a couple of loose bolts, and you see something. The crow like pops down, and Pablo just pulls off a piece of steel rivet that's very shiny because it's been sheared, and there's like a whole section of it there, and then flies back into the vehicle and lands next to Chromia as you go over to the button and drops it right in your lap. Tireface, you just break this thing off with Salt Colossus leaning out the side of the vehicle, and we see it just dink, and there's these wires attached to it. And Chromia goes over and hits the button as it bounces behind you a little ways, and then a huge plume of fire goes off, and part of the tower structure goes and bends, and you see a section of it kind of starting to tilt and crack and creak. You make it through the main gate, and you start zipping off into the distance. Now I will roll on our random table to see what threat comes against you next.
In counterpoint,
Oh boy.
if you remember, there was a certain redemption at the very beginning of the one shot about a certain vehicle, or maybe a human-powered.
A human carnival apparatus of some kind.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
kind.
What was the
It
original?
was a
Where's it at?
round-
I didn't see
It was
that.
human-powered.
Human-powered Ferris wheel. That will be part of this. I will make sure that that's in this because that was chosen. So you are zipping away at breakneck speed as fast as you can get. Losing the NOS has its benefits, but also has its negatives. As you are zipping away, Diz, you realize that your fuel gauge is going.
Oh, come on. No, wait. They did not forget to reattach that.
And in the distance, you can see the compound alight, explosions going off, and you guys get up over a sandy dune, and then the vehicle goes. And the car starts slowly going down the other side of the sandy dune. You hear the sounds of engines in the distance. You hear the roar of an entire crew that's approaching. So you have some time to try to figure out what you're going to do. All of you. We're going to start off with Diz. Diz, how do you react? What's the scene start like?
Diz pulls the thing to a stop and then grabs that NOS grenade and really quick gets under the vehicle and adjusts the well, he opens up the hood and then he does a bunch of adjustments to the carburetor and the fuel injection system, and then he takes the NOS grenade and literally like attaches it to the fuel injector so that it's injecting the liquid NOS instead of gas.
All right, so you are going to try to make a super efficient carburetor that uses the NOS to give you enough oomph to try to get away. This will be a very difficult part of the scene. So you will be rolling your Grease Monk, and 5 or higher will be successes. Give me that roll, and we'll determine what occurs.
Take
after.
advantage because I know Gretchen like the back of my hand.
Yes, this is still on Gretchen, so you
Okay.
can get advantage for it. Here we go, Grease Monk. And we get some bounces. Oh my god, your first roll is a 5. But that is 1, 2, 3. It only counts as 3 because those 4s don't count. The next one would have been a failure.
Yeah,
no
I'll
zero.
take the. I'll
So you
take
get
the-
you get 3 successes. All right. To overcome this scene, there is a requirement on how many successes to truly get out of harm's way right now. But we will now move over. So
And it was 3?
It was 3. That was what he got. No, that's not
We
what it is.
win!
We
So
did it. Good
as
job,
the
everyone.
vehicle,
Especially Tire Face, you're higher.
the vehicle stumbles to a stop, and Diz hops out and is like, "Oh no, come on!" How do all of you react to this? The vehicle running out of gas.
Should we run? Is this is it done? What are we doing? What are we doing?
No, I was getting her fixed, and they must have disconnected the fuel injector when it was stolen. I got this. I've done this. Okay, trust me, I've done this once.
He's like hurriedly lifting up the hood and getting underneath. You hear the clatter of like metal on metal, and you hear a fuck as he like smashes his thumb.
Well, while he's doing that, anybody know where we're going?
I feel like
Anyone?
Salt Colossus is not so much paying attention to this. Like, how close are the closest vehicles to us?
So you walk up the little dune behind you and like move to the top of it, and you can see that they're maybe 5 minutes away, moving in your direction. And horribly, you notice some massive spinning wheel of fire that is dancing across the desert in your direction, as well as a series of motorcycles and small vehicles that are just blasting blue flame off the top, probably completely inefficiently, but nonetheless, hurrying in your direction. You've got about 5 minutes.
Salt Colossus is going to go back to the vehicle and find Diz and grab him by the throat again and be like, "How sure are you that this is going to work?"
I did it once, and I only had to replace half the engine.
Neat.
that's pretty
Let's
good.
go.
No. Just a second. We can't rush this. Okay? All right?
You
Chill.
have 5 minutes before you're all dead.
5 minutes is not a long time for a miracle there, Salt. Captain Salt. Boss.
Can I help by using violence and smacking the engine a couple times?
We can give
This
it
always
a
works
go.
for my stuff.
Chromia moves over while you're working on it, and give me a violence roll as you proceed to try to just smack the engine back into working.
And I love
Fonzie
violence.
style.
Bang!
It's good
Ow!
because I gotta re-roll again.
That's gonna hurt your hand. You do love violence. Oh my god, 5 successes! That would
Although-
be 4 successes
3.
still.
3?
4, because the 4
5.
doesn't count.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
5 didn't count.
No,
either,
it's
but
5 or 6s count, but 4s do
Okay.
not.
I'll take
All right, Tire Face, what are you doing during the scene before we see what else happens here?
Tire Face seems honestly slightly uncomfortable with all the car talk going on. And is instead gonna like look around because we're right outside these people's base. There's got to be something useful or dangerous that I can grab.
So
nearby.
looking around, you know that you're in the New Sea. Littered throughout here in various places under the dunes. You're pretty sure that there are old wreckages of vehicles, some of the lost segments of the city that have been buried in the dust and debris. You've been out there before because when you used to belong in your previous gang, they made you dig through the refuse as one of your earliest jobs. You remember being like 5 or 6 years old with a shovel out there, and they just had you sitting in the sands for hours at a time, so...
I mean, my friend Stanley, we just kept digging.
So,
The plot
you know
of
that
holes.
there might be something out here that can assist you if you'd like to try to look.
Yeah, 100%.
Give me something that you're looking for, and I'll tell you what you roll.
Okay, honestly, what Tireface wants is like a sound system, so he can like yell out to all these people that are approaching.
Okay. So you move out into the distance, and I'm gonna give you a batshit roll on this because
Okay,
what you're
great.
looking for is kind of insane.
Obviously.
That is 1 success. I'm gonna say you find an old car stereo with like a comm system on it, like a CB radio that maybe you could you could mess with if you knew what you were doing. You just like tear it out of the section. So we see Tireface move out into the debris, just kind of dig down into the sand and just yank something out. There's like wires and stuff that come with it. And he like comes walking back towards you all.
Audience will love this.
You see a little circular cone shaped like bullhorn type thing because he pulled this off of an ice cream truck.
Oh. I would like to think the success of my move is goes in the sequence that the truck is being worked on by Benjamin. Your character is what? Sorry.
Diz.
Diz. The Diz is working on his car and like being very meticulous and making sure that like everything is put like right and that the engine doesn't get scratched or hurt and everything's tightened up right and it's still not working, and then Chromia goes behind and just whacks it really hard and then it just starts right up.
All right. So, yes, Tireface walks back over with the CB radio and tries to start attaching it in the inside of the car, probably in the center console near the big red button. And Diz works on the carburetor and attaches this thing. And then you go over and you start like turning the ignition. Nothing's working. And Chromia walks out to the front and kind of looks down at it and lifts up the hood and bang, hits it, and then you feel like a dink, and you see like underneath the crack of the hood, the carburetor like twists slightly, and then it just turns on suddenly, roaring back to life.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Woo!
Everybody hops back in the vehicle as quickly as possible, I assume.
Yes.
Diz does
Okay.
the thing where he guns it in the back of the car. It's like,
Sand is kicking up everywhere. You fishtail in the sand a little bit, and then you start peeling out as the NOS starts ripping through the engine. You recognize that your poor baby is taking more than she probably can handle as liquid rocket fuel spreads through rather than gasoline, or than guzzo. So all of you kind of have that torque moment when it starts to catch and the engine starts racing and you're zipping across the sand. In the distance, however, we see vehicles that are already loaded for bear that have been traveling a bit faster and don't have to take the time to accelerate, catching up. We see a massive wheel full of individuals that are just pulling on one side or the other with jets on the edges that is just spinning through the desert sand, some 20 feet tall. And as it rushes towards you, you see from the top of it, the ones that are near the very peak, just launching spears with explosive tips that are flying through the air towards the vehicle. Diz, give me a driving roll to avoid an explosive.
what the hell?
You're in Gretchen, so you still have an advantage. You get a 2. Give us another one. And you get a 1, so a 2 is it. There's an explosion that goes off, and Gretchen kind of jumps to the side and slides. Everybody else kind of shakes in the vehicle. It is now your turns to tell me what you're going to do to try to offset this massive thing that's chasing you down, or to give yourselves some advantage. Chromia, what are you doing at the moment?
I'm enamored of the giant wheel.
It's got colorful lights on it and everything.
So many colorful lights. And they're hucking stuff.
Explosive spears in your direction, and they're getting closer and closer and closer. They're only about 25 feet away now.
Is there anything like in front of them? Is there another vehicle, or perhaps like a NOS carrying tank truck or something?
There's a couple of motorcyclists that are on either side that are getting closer to the two of you. So it's just the big vehicle, the tiny motorcyclists off to either side, and then behind them are the heavy vehicles that are catching up slowly.
Okay, so there's not one in front of the wheel.
Not one in front of the wheel.
Fine. I'll see what everybody else does.
Okay, you're
I will
waiting.
support. 'Cause
Tire
I wanted
face.
to just explode the wheel with another car, but since that won't work, I'm just gonna power.
Tireface looks and sees this massive wheel.
Oh no!
Right?
His pupils dilate. All right, hear me out. What I want to do, I want to get on top of, because I cut one of the NOS tanks off, and then one of them is stuck on the roof. Right?
Yeah.
I want to hop on it and straddle it like a rocket, and fucking like pop the back of it, so it just boosts me onto the wheel. I want to ride this NOS tank like a
Okay.
mini rocket into this wheel.
So that's
Oh,
your
yeah, put a
plan.
sneaky roll.
While Tireface moves, he like climbs up. The vehicle's like bouncing around, and he leans out the window and he looks back at everybody else. Chromia, do you say something to Tireface as he heads up onto the roof?
Do I say anything?
Yeah, you know.
Can I hop on the rocket?
You want to get on with him? So
I do. Well, we'll have like a shiny shine moment, you know, where my eyes are dilating from shiny and like tinkle, and his are dilating from tire, and we just like get up on that rocket like two crackheads going towards our mark, you know, like.
So Tireface, you look back for a second and you see Chromia stare at you, and you see the same crazy look in her eyes, and she's like nods. The two of you nod, and they both like go out the back seat windows and climb up onto the rooftop, and they straddle the tank of NOS in the hopes that they can use it as a rocket and it doesn't just explode underneath of them.
He puts her arms around him, puts his head on his shoulder.
Salt Colossus, what are you going to do while these others are chasing after you and you have two crazies climbing onto the roof?
So, Colossus is gonna see that the kids are moving toward the spectacle, and is gonna lean out the window and like kind of sees where they're going, and shouts up to them, "If you survive, you have jobs. Just saying." And then
Gainful employment, Bobson! I'd never get it!
then Salt Colossus wants to get into the vehicle and grab the megaphone and then do the whistle thing that they do, because I think she wouldn't have come with just the small party.
Yeah.
They would have been waiting.
So she's calling in reinforcements.
Yeah.
So give me a legend roll or a batshit roll from each of you three. Diz, we're going to need to have you drive again because this is about to get crazy.
Diz is gonna try to actually make their shot a little easier. He's gonna do the cool thing where you do the 180 while you're maxing out your speed, and then throw it into reverse, and then you're like driving reverse at the same, and like matching the speed. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna help
Oh,
aim.
yeah.
Help aim. All right, give us your drive roll. So let's see. We've got Salt Colossus with a 3.
Now,
got-
as someone who has gone through the trial by tire, do you think that might be an advantage in this?
It's a tire.
Yeah.
It is a trial by tire advantage, and this is also violence if Chromia wishes to reroll too.
Well, I got a 4, but it's 4 and above, right? Or 5 and above?
Not for this particular thing. So you did get 4. Tireface,
Yeah,
you get
I'll do
2
it.
there. So we got a 2, we've got a 5, we've got a 3, and did you want to roll again or just keep the 4? I mean, 4 is good, so unless you want to roll just to see what you get.
Wait a minute. What was it again though? Like I was gonna re-roll, but then totally forgot I rolled.
Legend or
Batshit.
batshit. Oh, yeah, that was not
I
a
think
good
I'm gonna
roll on
stick
that
with
one.
the first one.
Stick with the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Excellent.
Best
So this is
party
what happens.
ever!
You're welcome.
So Tireface, you start climbing up onto the top. We see like the wind just kind of bouncing around as the vehicle is just dancing across the sands. And you see Diz's expert driving, kind of dipping and moving through these things, realizing everybody's climbing up onto the back. Salt Colossus leans out, tells him about getting a job, turns and just... We hear that loud noise come through the speaker. And Diz, you just spin the car. And Crow and Tireface, the two of you were on the barrel facing that way, and then the car spins around and you're facing the opposite direction, so then you readjust and you wiggle around to the other way, and that leaves Tireface in the back, where you grab a hold of the little shiv that you had, and then you just stab the back of the canister, and you see it just going tss, and then you strike a spark with your knife across the back of Diz's vehicle, and then suddenly it starts like pulling, and Diz, even though you're driving in one direction, the car starts slowing down, and then the rivets snap, and Tireface and Chromia go flying out towards the Ferris wheel very rapidly in this large object. Salt Colossus, you look out the side and you see them just... There's an explosion, and you see the wheel just start lighting up in an inferno. Lots of pops go up from all of the different NOS tanks that are on there, and you see the
Slows
whole
down.
wheel start tipping
Had the
sideways.
time of my life.
And we see over in the distance Salt's crew like coming up over the salty bitches start driving in this direction, hearing their boss's whistle from the distance. So now we're seeing what occurs in the aftermath. The explosion went off. Did Tireface and Chromia survive, or are they exploded? Diz, you still have the aftermath. There's two vehicles that are spinning along beside you that start firing on your car. You still have to reach the salty bitches. Salt Colossus, you still have to keep yourselves safe long enough to get to them and to turn this fight around. So, this is now a dangerous scene. 5s and higher are required for successes. Tireface and Chromia, both of you have to roll legend for this one. It's the only thing you get. Salt Colossus and Diz. Diz, you'll be rolling driving, and Salt Colossus, it depends on the action that you're choosing to take, which you'll describe for me in a second. Chromia and Tireface, we're going to go with you first. Tireface gets
4, 1.
1, 2. You got 1.
I'm gonna take a NOS and try this again.
Okay. Ooh, Tireface gets a 3.
Oh, I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna NOS it. This is the first time I've used a NOS. So
all right,
let's do it. Let's do it. Fuck!
Oh, damn, that's a -1.
Can I use more than one NOS? There's 3 here.
You can, but each time it's just gonna reduce your stat.
Oh, I don't want to do that then.
So with 1 success is all you had on the previous one. You won't be dead, but I will require you to take 2 defeat track rolls or points.
2.
Yes. There's a reroll to Crow from McSherry.
Hey, you McSherry, I love you, quit! Okay, I'm gonna try again. For friendship. Oh, I read it.
You got 2 successes that time instead
For
of
friendship.
For friendship. With 2 successes. Okay, this is what happens with you. We'll get to you in a second. Salt Colossus, what are you doing?
So explain to me where the threats are.
So there are 2 motorcyclists at either edge of your vehicle behind you. There's a couple of, I guess we'll call them like RV, or not RVs, like dirt bikes, or not dirt bikes. My brain is fuzzy because I've been working all day.
Motorcycles?
No. Dune buggies. There are 2 dune buggies filled with NOS and explosives and cannons that are starting to fire that are zipping behind you as well. So there are 2 real close to the back that are motorcycles. And there are 2 dune buggies in the distance about 30 feet behind you that are moving back and forth and like approaching very rapidly as Diz has to now drive backwards instead of forwards.
Colossus is going to use the candle that they put out there earlier and lean out, and it's she knows that Diz keeps like memorabilia like in his car, and that he like did this really terrible line of Diz Apollo like windshield wiper, like the snow brush.
Yeah.
But that was a bad idea because it doesn't snow anymore. So she leans out the window and has a couple of those and is like trying to get the motorcyclists to kind of wipe out so that when they slide into the trucks, it should cause
all right, so you're going to try to wipe out a motorcyclist to get a hold of a truck.
Wipe out.
I will give you an advantage if you go a little more batshit or legend and crawl on top of the vehicle on the hood as you attempt to take these 2 out.
So I'm gonna say this, that she's gonna reach up because on the inside of where the magnet is, there should be like a strap, so she like you can grab onto it.
Mhm.
And she feels it, so she goes on the roof of the truck or of the car and is trying to time it out to like get these motorcycles to wipe out and then like get into a vehicle.
Okay, so she pulls herself up on top. We see Salt Colossus in the darkness. We see like the desert light behind her, explosions going off in flames that keep lighting one side of her face or the other, holding these memorabilia in hand. So if you would please give me a legend or a batshit roll. We'll say a legend roll in this situation, and you have advantage as you try to take those out. Diz, you need to give us. So you already gave us a driving roll, right?
I have not rolled yet
Okay.
because I have not described how I am going to drive.
Okay. So we're going to have a 1 and a 1 from Assault Colossus here. Diz, you're going to need to assist in some way. So, what are you going to do?
Diz, sort of like gently weaving as the cannons start or like landing on either side. He's gonna kind of catch the timing, and then what he's gonna do is he is going to slam the brakes as hard as he can with the timing of the cannons, so that the two dune buggies just shoot each other.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how you do. All right, give us your driving roll.
It's very Waterworld.
Mm-hmm. That's how it does.
3. That would be 1, 2, 3. It is 3. No, it's 2. That's only 2. But you're using Gretchen, so give us another roll. And there is 1, 2, 2 as well. 2 and 2. If one of you would take a defeat track, you will succeed right now.
Oh, I'm taking doomed.
All right, so you take doomed. So Diz, you start weaving the vehicle back and forth. In the distance, we see the explosion go off. The giant wheel starts tipping to the side. In that blast, Tireface and Chromia, you two are kind of tossed through the air, and you end up like grabbing a hold of one another as you spin towards the ground. You hit the sand very hard, and you have the wind knocked out of your breath. Like side of your face is strange, Tireface. It hurts, but it also feels smooth, as a bit of Chromia's goggles have welded themselves to the side of your face. You now have a shiny attachment to the bone that will probably hurt forever.
Goggle face.
Goggle face. Chromia, from where you're at, you see Pueblo like land on your shoulder and kind of peck at your
Pablo,
cheek.
not Pueblo.
Pablo lands on your shoulder and kind of pecks at your cheek, keeping you aware as you look up and you see the war chariot of the revered one himself, His Reverence Rollo, like marching its way towards you. Very big vessel. If you stay where you're at, you might get crushed underneath the multiple treaded wheels.
Tire face type. Oh, you look beautiful.
Thanks.
But we should go because we're gonna get crushed by it. Sam,
That's what they think.
tire. You want to get squished by
Never again.
a tire, right? And Soul Colossus says we have jobs.
And there's gonna be job security. And what I'm gonna do, I want to like throw myself so that I what I want to. From their perspective, driving the car, it looks like I just throw myself in front of the vehicle.
Mhm.
I want to duck into the gap between the treads and like grab on and just start like tearing at the fuel lines and bits of the car beneath from the underside.
So you're gonna spin and dive onto your back, grab a hold of the undercarriage, and climb up and start yanking out what you can. That's batshit. You're gonna be giving me a batshit roll. Chromia, what are you going to attempt to do?
Is it a tire tread like tank? You said
No,
was
it's
a-
large treaded tires. So they're like almost like the size of like lumber trucks. The huge tires.
Okay. Lumber truck. You mean like the? No.
Like the
I'm-
almost
can
like
I-
a monster
So if you
truck.
could get
but
in
not-
between them, I can probably ride them sort of semi Indiana Jones style up so that I can get onto like the car, right?
Yeah, if you go
Like
to
the
the
top?
outside and grab a hold of the edge of the wheel as it's going up, yes.
So I'm gonna do that from where I am, and then I want to get up there, and I want to steal it. I'm gonna try.
You try to
I've got
steal
both.
the war rig. All right.
Mhm.
Okay. So your
Or at least
choice in this case that would be batshit or sneaky.
Sneaky.
Okay. So before your rolls resolve, we see Salt Colossus on the hood of the
Oops.
vehicle. Diz Apollo kind of swinging back and forth with the vehicle in between timed shots. As you slam on the brakes suddenly, Salt, you find yourself lunging forward somewhat, and the motorcycles are in place where you can hit them directly. So they end up coming up very, very quick, and you just bam, you hit both of them. Both of the drivers go down on either side, and the motorcycles begin bouncing into the distance. The shots from the dune buggies, one of them goes over and hits the front of another vehicle, and one of them hits the other side, and yet there's a piercing sensation in your chest. You look down and you see shrapnel has just perforated one of your lungs. From that position, Salt, you see the motorcycles flipping end over end, and then a couple of explosions go off as the vehicles in the distance take the hits and the bikes go up in flame. You now find yourself still driving backwards, but you're dizzy now, Diz. What is happening from this position?
Diz is like just sort of like now like deliriously driving backwards as if it was driving forwards. Like he's not even looking behind him; he's just using the rear view.
just
He's just kind of like
we see like the vehicle kind of bump back and forth a little bit, and Salt has to like grab onto the hood to not be tossed clear for a moment. Looking out over the top of the vehicle, Salt, you see your war party coming up over the horizon, huge amounts of clouds kicked up, and you see a couple of other war rigs that are just coming in this direction. You hear the drums as they approach.
Colossus is gonna turn around on the hood and bang on the windshield and like point toward the war party for Diz to take them into that group.
you got it, yeah. And then Diz like reaches down into the spot between the two seats and pulls out a pistol, and then just like starts firing at Salt Colossus's war party like he didn't understand the order.
Bang, bang, gunshots going off. You're too far away to hit anyone in this case, so I'm just gonna say you just fire in that direction.
Salt Colossus is going to kind of like reach around and like kick the side of his door and be like, "Drive to them, you idiot!"
Oh yeah, and then he just like cranks. My earbuds. He just like cranks the wheel a few times, and then the car does like a few 360s, and then finally he peels off towards them.
It slides in the sand a little bit, and Salt has to hold on to the top as the vehicle spins, and then stopping. You find yourself going up over the hill. We see a couple of other war buggies like starting to come up behind the two of you. Tireface, with your roll, you find yourself just launched in. This massive object comes at you, but you know you will not be bested. And as you hit the sand, you reach up and just kind of yanked in a direction. Take one defeat track as you are yanked very hard. And after all the injuries you sustained after explosions and whatnot, you are now in a dangerous position. But you find yourself holding on to the bottom of this vehicle, and then you start finding important wires to pull out. Chromia, with your roll, you very easily just ride the tire up to the top and find yourself just outside of the door where the driver inside is just bouncing up and down.
Snatch, fall down.
You just pull him out the side.
I do.
So you just grab a hold of the door frame, or through the open door frame, you just grab a hold of his side and turn, and he's just into the sand. You sit down, and you see the other Nosite next to him, just kind of look over. Nos! No.
Nos. Nos.
Who are you?
What's out there? Look.
Where?
Push.
Give me a violence roll here. You can, of course.
I think I got 4 successes to take this shit over. Can't I just have a heyday up in
You
here?
made it up to the top. Come on.
Fine. That shit? All right.
Violence.
I mean, this is very violent, though, really.
Yeah, violence.
Which is the same roll. So I'm just going to roll that again because then it's in like violence. And then it still didn't work. This guy is not getting out of here, I guess.
You could use Nos, or you are going to take a defeat track.
Fine. I'll try the Nos.
All right, go ahead and give us violence. It goes down by 1 now. You got 2 successes that time. So he just like
Look
turns.
over there. Push, I said.
You see him just go out the side of the vehicle and poof, into the sand as the vehicle continues traveling. So you are now in charge of the war chariot. Up on top of it, you see the His Reverence Rolo just shouting out,
Kill them! Kill them all! They are against the blue flame!
Tireface, give me a Grease Monk roll to see if you know which
Oh.
ones are the important ones to remove.
Oh, this is not going to go well. No.
That is no successes. So you start yanking things, and they're stuck really tight in there. You're struggling with it, and your like back very lightly grazes some of the sand, and you just feel like, and you continue hanging there. We move back to Diz and Salt Colossus. Diz, gunfire starts kicking off behind you. Give me what you do now to try to avoid taking injury. Salt Colossus, you're still on the hood at the moment. You see another buggy move nearby and start firing rapid fire towards you all.
Is the shrapnel like life-threatening or just like annoying?
The shrapnel in him, in Diz?
Oh, I thought I took the shrapnel.
No. Just Diz did.
I took
Okay.
the shrapnel because I am
Okay.
doomed now.
Okay. So,
Doom.
Salt Colossus is like in the zone right now. Like this could not go any better. So I'm going to lean out the window and from like one of the capsules that she keeps on her mask is gonna basically like pop off like a colored smoke grenade. And I want to say that I've got like super duper fast like motorcyclists that are like kamikaze pilots, and they're coming for those dudes.
All right, give me a legend roll. And Diz, what are you doing right now? I'm sorry if I asked you that already. And
Are we being chased by like dudes?
yeah, you
How
have
many
two more.
dudes?
Two more guys
more.
coming up behind you.
Dudes. Diz like sighs, and then he flips open. There's like a button. It's a covered button, and he presses it, and the trunk flies open, and the whole back of it just like falls off and like flips, and then just hundreds of little caltrops start flying out of the back of Gretchen.
Give me a Grease Monk roll, and this is Gretchen, so you have advantage.
Veteran really picked the best advantage he could pick, I feel like.
Yeah, my car. I'm
Yeah.
the driver. My car is my advantage.
And you got a 2 and a 2. Either way, 2 is what you've got here. And you did succeed at this point in taking out one of the vehicles that kind of like scrambles off to the side and explodes after crashing and flipping a few times. But Salt Colossus raises hands, pops that out, and we see a 2 little bikes. They're kind of zipping into the camera. We go right up over their shoulder as you see 2 of Salt Colossus's, I guess, salty bitches. They're just going, for their mistress, and you see them just ram straight into some of the vehicles behind and just explosions wrap around you. Salt Colossus and Diz, you make your way into the salty bitches party, and the one of the war machines like slows down near the edge of where you're at.
Ain't no party like a salty bitches party.
You find your way back onto one of your war rigs, and Diz, you kind of stumble out, realizing that you're like bleeding pretty heavily onto the soil down below. You still have your car.
Hey y'all. Diz Apollo. Anyone want an autograph? And then he like collapses on the sand.
Onto the sand. Salt Colossus, what are the orders that you give? Rekka's standing there nearby.
Boss, are you all right?
Salt Colossus is gonna give him a pat on the shoulder and say, "I'm fine." He is quiet now, which is great. And I don't want to make the healers mad again, so take him to them now when he can't talk. And then we are going to blow the ever-living shit out of the rest of these NOS dudes. And like, their leader's a juggalo. I don't know. It's weird. It's crazy. Anyway.
Hocus pocus, jocus, right?
All right, so Rekka goes, all right, boss, you heard her. Get that idiot. Put him inside the healing tent. And you see people like walk over and grab him by his shoes and just start
He's like,
dragging him to
kind
the
of like a
sand.
family sport. He's like, don't heal me, heal my car, heal Gretchen. Don't leave the car, don't leave the car. It's vintage.
We
I
see.
feel like there's like young teenagers that come running up and take the car because they're like in the back doing like maintenance and stuff, and I feel like they get in the car and they like whip it way too hard, and you just hear Diz being like, "Oh, Gretchen."
The squeal of metal scraping across
Oh,
something.
They're not quite
She's
getting the
top heavy.
clutch. They're not quite getting the clutch. You
Just a
hear
grinding noise.
You know how hard it is to find vintage clutch plates in the apocalypse?
All right. So we see Salt Colossus climb onto the back of the war rig and just kind of raise a fist and just glare and point at the Cult of NOS that is like flying in their direction. And we move back over there to the war rig that Tireface is underneath and Chromia is currently driving. And you hear like the leader kind of turn to someone. Damn it! They've escaped into that damn bitch's army. Everyone, turn it around. Let's get back to base. And you like see someone like move down to the edge of the driver section and look at you. You heard him. Turn around.
Nos.
Don't
And he goes,
roll up
Nos.
the window, lock the doors.
At this point,
So Tireface, go ahead.
I want to start to climb up the side of the vehicle towards the boss's voice.
Okay. So you climb. Give me a sneaky.
We might be in the wrong jobs.
Whoops. That's a 0. Do you want to use
One of my
Nos,
worst.
or are you gonna just keep it?
I'll just keep it. I don't need to be sneaky.
Okay.
I just want to get there.
So you start climbing up the side of the vehicle. We just see him like this massive vehicle just trundling over the sands, and you're just climbing up the side. Just that shit-eating grin on your face, the tire mark just prominently displayed next to your new chrome cheekbones. And Chromia, what are you doing? You're just keeping the car going at the moment, the war rig going, but what are you doing?
I would like you to give me a visual. So
Okay.
I think I've got the tire size under control. But so you say he's like sitting, and are we like talking like a Pope mobile on top of like a truck, or like
Yeah.
where is the lead
It's-
Or
guy?
like Xerxes.
It's like if you took, they were saying tractor tires. So yes, it's like tractor tires built into the side of a flat bed truck that's been lifted. So the front end is the vehicle, and the backside has Devon on top of it with him standing up there with all of his speakers and whatnot that he can shout out to his followers and some of his lead men nearby. It's heavily armored, so very protected. There's like rocket launchers on top and some guns.
Sure. And they're all just kind of hanging out
Yes.
on there. Okay. How fast is it going?
Currently right around 70 miles an hour.
So if I were to suddenly push the brakes and then jerk and then go forward again, it may very well make everybody fall off.
You might jackknife.
Oh, I'm carrying a trailer.
Yeah.
Instead of flatbed.
Sorry. Well,
No,
yes,
it was
it's
a trailer.
It's a trailer. It's like a semi.
So it's a complication, Ty. You're just like, oh no,
Sorry,
you
I'm
can't do
trying to
that. There's an
describe it all.
alien
That's
there
not-
too now for some reason.
That's not what I'm saying. I mean, the jackknife
Smashing
could
my
potentially
dreams.
work if you just jerk it out of there.
No, I
and
don't
fly-
want to. I want to bring this as a gift to my new boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then launching, you're going to take the vehicle as a gift.
Oh yes.
Right. I thought you were going to take the entire cult leader as a gift.
Well, if he's connected to the truck at the time, it's a twofer, right?
True.
And my buddy Chrome Tire Face could really use a win too. And maybe, yeah, you know what? We're gonna just keep going.
Okay. So you're going to
towards
be
the salty bitches.
driving and
'Cause
probably
salt
having to
cleans
fight
things off.
off invaders that are trying to get control of the vehicle again.
Yes.
Well,
but I
Tire
want
Face-
you to remember, I rolled up the window and locked the door. So
you
just
did. They didn't have that done before.
For
It's
the
getting quite
record.
hot in here, as a matter of fact.
fine.
So from within, you hear like someone slamming on the edge of it. Good, turn it around. You see him like poking his head down.
What?
Turn it ar-
Sorry.
And you hear, take them out from up above. and you see the individual take a gun and like point it against the glass window and prepare to shoot you. Tireface, you climb up the edge of the vehicle and you see one of the cult leaders, lieutenant, standing there, and he like turns, this big burly individual covered in little rivets of metal buried under his flesh, and once he sees you and recognizes that you're not, you ran away with them, you rejected the truth of NOS, of the blue blood, of the pure blue flame, and you see it enrages him as he looks at you. Traitor! And you see him like reach down and grab one of those NOS capsules and just, you see him just, and he starts rushing over towards you to grab a hold of you. What do you do?
And I turn around and don't even pay him any mind. I look right at the boss.
Okay.
I put on my super cool sunglasses. You! I invoke the right of single combat! You are no leader! This is no family! That is bullshit. You are an employer, these are your employees, and I will show you what a true boss is like!
All right.
For unionizing, motherfucker!
You can have,
Face me!
you're going to be rolling either a batshit or a legendary here. Chromia, what are you going to do to defend yourself? This one has like a revolver pointed in the window, about to shoot at you.
I'm going to. Can I counter his shooting me in the face with a duck and my own shooting of him in the face?
Yes, you're going to fire in return, use violence against violence. See how
I
that's
love
gonna work.
violence.
All right, so Chromia, give me violence roll. Tireface, you got a -1.
Well, I did put on my really cool sunglasses for effect.
You did, you get your advantage.
Okay, great. Cool.
Chromia, you got 3 successes. And of course, you do have violence as your benefit
I'm
there.
just
So
gonna, just for shits and giggles.
I swear,
take the 3.
audience, every time I roll a 6, I
There's
then
a-
roll a 1.
there's a 0 for Tireface. There's a reroll for McSherry.
Ah,
Go,
Okay.
Tireface, go!
come on.
That is a 0 for Tireface. Tireface, we are now in the final scene, which
Anti-climactic.
means during the final scene, if you fail, you take a defeat track and you roll again. You keep
Okay.
doing that until you either die or succeed.
Okay, great. Legend.
That is 1 success.
1.
So this is what happens. You start climbing up the side. You call him out. He looks at you,
Yeah.
and you're not worth my time. You don't even have the mark. And you see like his companion move towards you. Face me! And he turns and says, "Best him, then I'll fight you." And the big one just kind of swings in at your face. Give me either a violence or a legend roll.
Violence. Oh my god.
That is a -1. Take a defeat track and roll again.
I'm gonna nos this.
Okay.
I'm gonna nos it first.
Roll and your violence goes
Why
down by
keep
1.
him? Smoke him if you got him.
Yeah.
Take a defeat track. and
Never
roll again.
mind.
Lord.
Take a defeat
But you're
track.
so shiny now.
So he rushes forward, and a big hand just smashes against the side of your face, and then another one hits you in the rib. You hear a loud crack. You lose 3 to your legend, which is your highest.
I mean, I don't know if this is going to make a difference, but since we go around the same time, I succeeded in my role. And you know, like when a person moves forward, sometimes, like especially when they're shooting a big gun, they accidentally hit the brakes just like a little bit. When a punch would be like landing, it might just, ooh,
I
you know,
will-
like right by.
I will freeze what's happening right now as we see Chromia. The gunshot goes off. You blast that guy in the chest, and you see him like fall down. You got a +1 to a stat of your choice there. So Chromia, you happen to see like fighting in the light behind you. You look up through the little window behind you, and you see Tireface up there swinging his little arms, which are way tinier than this massive figure that's just boom, boom, boom on the back of this vehicle. The embedded metal in his skin just tearing Tireface's flesh. There's a pshink as you see like the chrome like scratch as he like moves his head aside.
It's Chrome!
Gonna use your driving to try to assist.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay. Go ahead and roll
I've been
driving.
wanting to stop this thing. I just like the force, you know, and then everybody walks around like dogs in the back of a truck, and they're like, ah!
All right, give me a driving roll.
Oh my fuck!
Oh, God.
I'm gonna nos that.
Okay,
I mean, I want to point out that was a perfect fail.
that was
Yeah.
absolutely a perfect fail. All right,
You
use
could not have
nos.
done any worse.
I'm
I
surprised. I
could
thought
not.
I thought I for sure had rolled the worst roll of the night with a 1-1-1-2.
That is
Nope.
a -3 there. So go ahead and
You're
give me.
-3 in a row.
That's your last
That's
nos.
That's what you get, Robbie. I beat you.
Give
What can I
us the
say?
driving roll one more time.
Oh, okay. I can't do worse.
There's
There, one?
one success.
Or none.
It's
One?
one in this scene.
Okay. Woohoo.
So with one success, you slam on the brakes. It makes everybody kind of stagger. Entire face. You get a breather for a split second. Your ribs ache. Your face is scratched. You are bruised. What
And
do
then I
you
continue to go.
try to do here? You can
Me?
change direction now.
Me?
Yes, tire face. You get a chance to change direction to change what you're trying to do.
Um.
And you get a +1 to whatever. Did you already do?
He already
thing?
took it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
All right. Well, we're kind of on the end of our ropes here.
Oh, yeah,
McSherry has given everybody +2 to a capability of their choice.
Okay.
Plus
Okay. We're gonna go all in on batshit, and what I will do, I want to take, yeah. All right. Here we go. What I want to do is I want to take some of the NOS like grenades that these people have been established to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to what I want to do is just like toss one up to the boss, like right in their face.
With you right up on top as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a batshit roll. But before
Yeah.
you do, we now describe what's occurred with the other two individuals here as we reach towards the very end scene. Salt Colossus, from the back of your war rig, you rush over the distance. We see like gunfire going off, explosions on both sides, but your forces are massive compared to this tiny cultist who's just infringed on your territory. You allowed this weasel to live for too long. And on the top of the war rig, which you can see the shiny chrome of Chromia inside, just kind of like driving back and forth. She slams on the brakes. It kind of starts slowing down. And you see that tiny little individual, that tire-faced person, just up there taking hit after hit after hit. And he grabs a hold of the belt and grabs a grenade off of it. What are you doing from the back of your war rig as you see this fight going on?
My war rig, I have one of those like the polecat poles, and I want to use that to get up onto the platform where the Fago drinking leader of these cultists are.
Okay. So you go up, grab a hold of the polecat, and just... And we see you, like, arcing over the distance as you get closer and closer and closer. And we see you land on the back behind them. Tireface, you see Salt Colossus appear on the platform as you're holding that grenade and looking over. Diz, did you just let them heal you, or did you break free and get back into your vehicle?
So Diz reaches into the utility belt, pulls out a bottle of liquid tourniquet spray, and he rips out the shrapnel and like, and then goes and commandeers his vehicle.
Grabbing a hold of Gretchen, possibly for one last ride. What do you do with it?
He is going to haul ass to get right alongside the giant tank rig, so that if people need to escape, they can jump on the roof, because the roof's already screwed up anyway, because people keep crawling all over it.
All right,
Y'all hopping on my roof like.
All right, we are in the final couple of rolls here. Salt Colossus, you've landed behind the cult leader, who turns to you and sees you. Fine, it's like this. And you see him like reach down onto his waist belt and just suck in a bunch of his own juice and roid out at you.
Ew.
So he's gonna come charging at me.
Yep, he turns to charge at you while his lieutenant tries to grab a hold of Tireface by the face and get a hold of that grenade before he throws it.
Salt Colossus is gonna let him run towards them, and as he's coming towards her, she's just gonna step aside and push him off the back.
You're going to be rolling sneaky or legend on that one. So before you roll, Chromia, what are you doing right now?
I want to bring the. Whoa, sorry, email. I want to bring. I'm still trying to bring the dang truck to Salt Colossus.
Okay.
So I'm gonna, I'm moving forward, trying to keep an eye on my peripheral and keep my gun ready in case anybody else tries to shoot me on the head.
Okay. So I want to say one thing. Salt Colossus, when rushing in this direction, did point out that this was the boss's rig. They didn't know you were driving it at that time.
That's true.
And currently, Salt's own forces are raising weapons to fire on the driver of the rig.
Right.
So
But do I see that?
Yes.
I would say, because you said I saw her,
You did say she saw me.
so I imagine that she would probably signal to them like let her alone, like.
I'll give it to you because yeah.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
You said the shiny.
So you're gonna try to keep the vehicle moving towards Salt's stuff.
I was. Are
Okay.
there any buttons? Like buttons that I could push perhaps to shoot
question.
behind me or to the side?
There is.
They are the Cult of NOS.
There's a pyrotechnic display in front of you that's designed to make people look better on top.
Well, I guess most people could use looking better on top. What do you mean?
I mean, they have a bunch of different pyrotechnic options that launch blue flames into the air that are around the edge of the podium that the leader stands on the back of the truck.
Okay. I'm assuming Tire Face is in there because I'm not just gonna. I mean, really, at this point, you're giving me an aesthetic, and I'll take it. I will take the flaming blue death ring for Tire Face. I think he would want it that way.
That's true. Oh no, Benjamin's disconnected.
That's a fabulous freeze frame, though.
So go ahead and
that is not how I freeze. Usually, it's like this.
give me either a sneaky or a violence roll here.
Well, I like violence.
That is 3 successes. Excellent. Tire Face, you have the grenade in hand, and I'm going to show what occurs here. Salt Colossus lands, yells at the boss, who just turns his attention from you as the big one like rushes over, grabs a hold of your hand. You're now struggling with the grenade you were about to throw. Flames begin just all around you, and you see like these large nozzles from either side, and the big guy just kind of grabs a hold of you and starts like trying to pull you into one of them.
Whoops.
So what I will do is he like laughs at me, and then and what I will do is I still have the grenade, is I will just kind of like flick my wrist and just toss the grenade directly into the blue flame.
Give me a batshit roll. Salt Colossus, give me a sneaky or legendary, and Diz, give me a driving roll.
Gotta be
Tire
kidding
Face.
me. Gotta be kidding me. I have oh wait, I have an advantage for my sunglasses.
You do? You still have them on.
Jesus!
Salt Colossus with 10 successes.
Oh, we win.
And we got 5 with Tire Face. Holy shit.
Roll went like about 3.
Diz, give me your roll.
Sorry, I'm resetting.
Okay.
That's okay. We'll just assume that he gets like 7.5 successes. Just average the 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
800.
Take the second roll.
I'm just seeing if Diz crashes. If Diz fails here, he's going to crash when trying to save you all. And Diz gets 3 successes.
Hold on, let's see if I can.
Hmm?
I'll take.
Yeah,
I'll take my
3 is good. So a grand combined total here. You've got the flames on there from Chromia's roll. 3, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is what happens. Chromia, you hit that button, and you hear loud noises, and you see just blue flames shooting everywhere, lighting up the sands around you. Tire Face, that individual like, and then your face just laughing back at his, and you just go, and the grenade goes in the distance, and then as he turns and sees it and the blue flame starts to wash over him, he's huge, you're kind of small, you just kind of turn underneath of him and twist to the side.
Now, like 4 foot
Not
4.5
that
feet tall, I
small. This
guess.
guy's
I'm
like
shrinking.
7. This guy's like 7 feet tall, and you're like 5'5". So it's not,
I'm 5 foot nothing.
5 foot nothing. So the blast washes over him,
Respectful height.
and he's just going, and you're just laughing maniacally. As we see Salt Colossus turn, the gouting flames around them, this individual just rushes towards them, and as they get in that direction, Salt, you like turn, grab a hold of him by the side as he goes to go over the edge, and you lift him above your head as his head and his feet are burned inside of the blue flame as all of his cult members watch. You hold it until he's ash and then just off the back of the vehicle, and it crashes to the ground. As your forces rush in, you see the cult of blue flame recognize that what you have just achieved, all of you on the back as martyrs for the blue flame, turn, stop, step out of their vehicles and hit the sands with their heads down on the ground in reverent prayer.
I feel like the dude lands in front of Diz's car and gets a whole bunch of gunk on the windshield, and then Diz like deliriously just like hits the wiper, and it's the Diz Apollo signature
Brandon.
series. What
Is and with that, we have reached the end of the Cult of NOS. Give us one scene from your epilogue, and then we will be done, and we'll go around and do our social details here. So,
I mean,
yes, go ahead.
Honestly, just one point of clarification. I looked down for a second because Hey Doyle said something funny, and honestly, you said we were martyrs. Did we all die? That's what martyr means.
That's it, martyr. Yes, you're not martyrs. That's not what I meant.
Okay, because I was like, wait a minute, how can I have an epilogue if I'm dead?
No, martyred as in the leader was martyred, but the blue flame showed who was the next ruler when holding
Okay,
them.
all right.
Yeah,
I appreciate the clarification. Thank you. And Doyle,
Yes.
stop being so funny.
That's what I meant. All right, so we'll start off with you, Chromia. Well, if you want to, what
I'm
is
fine.
your
We can do
epilogue?
that. Well, the epilogue, obviously, so I'm going to bring the shiny to my new boss, which is a crow thing. Shiny, this is establishing friendship. And then it's just, I don't know. Generally speaking, Chromie is a free agent, but if there's plenty of shiny things to be had and good company, she may just hang around and be a salty bitch for a while.
Perfect. All right, Tireface. What is I'm gonna go to Salt Colossus because you're the leader of the warband first. I should have done that first. I'm sorry. What does your epilogue look like, and then the others can tie into it.
There is this like Viking style longhouse that like the shot comes in, there's all this sunshine, but it's made out of all this like repurposed and found scrap, and there are like so many people there. And it has the vibe of being like like Xerxes in 300, like very opulent. And
Persian
Salt
longhouse.
Colossus, yes. Salt Colossus is sitting on this, like, not a throne, but like a chair that's kind of higher than everybody, but that's just because they don't trust anyone. So, um, there's like a couple of people around them, and I imagine that Chromia is there, and she has like a band of children that she taught how to pickpocket, and they bring back all the stuff, and she takes all the shiny stuff. And then I feel like Tireface has decided to like train other people how to drive, and how to like how to
Switching
maneuver,
people,
because
maybe.
he's in the car instead of being
Diz, yeah.
outside of the
Diz.
car. And then she also did it because it made Diz really mad.
Ah.
So that was also the choice that she made. That she was like, I don't know. Why would you be that person? Like very.
I mean, you have a tire right on your face. You've got to know how to drive well.
And I feel like like sitting there, there's like an old timer like nearby, as wise and old men happen to be in these sorts of situations, and says, We never thought that one person could rule the wasteland. And Salt Colossus says, a man cannot. So I became a god.
Yas, queen. Yas. Yas.
Diz, do you have anything to put onto the epilogue?
Yeah, I feel like there's a party after they take the NOS cult. I think there's a big party at the Longhouse, and after kind of a long night of Diz trying to like get Saul Colossus's attention, he finally like gets really despondent and starts like tucking into the swill, and then he sees like a sign over on one side of the Longhouse that just says "Our Liege Salt Colossus Lookalike Contest." And then he kind of mugs the camera and kind of goes, and then heads over.
Tireface, do you have anything you would like to add?
Yes. So, first of all, not you appoint Tireface to do these driving tutorials. The quality of driving goes infinitely down as Tireface is found out to be someone who hates cars, tires, and wheels vehemently, which is what made him such a great like road warrior. Um, so, but after like a long day of like stabbing tires and teaching people just the perfect arc to throw your explosive spear, you see Tireface like walk into their like little hovel on the edge and like yeah, great work. We're going to learn how to rend tomorrow. It's gonna be so good. Make sure you get a good solid 8 hours though. We don't want to. Yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. And steps back in and oh, okay, well, that was a day. I'm glad I don't have to use the voice in when I'm alone. Thank goodness. Just goes to bed. The affectation gone.
All right, and
Ready for another day.
with that wonderful scene, the end has come to the Cult of NOS. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed yourselves. We're going to go around the circle. Give us where we can see more of your wonderful selves, and if you have any final thoughts. So we'll start off with you, Ray Mayhem. Why don't you go first?
Hello, my name is Ray Mayhem. You can find me at Ray Mayhem everywhere. I post a lot of minis and things like that on my Twitter. I am in heaven. Thank you for doing this. This was like the most fun I've ever had. Like, please invite me back. I am being that person. Like, please use me more. So much fun. And thank you for doing it. Thank you for inviting me.
You are most welcome. And always, if I have room available, I will always ask around to all my friends out there and get everybody into some games. So, Benjamin, your turn. Here it comes.
Hey everybody, I'm TT Benjamin. You can find me on Twitter at TTBenjamin1. I'm the host of the Dungeon Master Lawful Good Adventures podcast, Pathfinder 5th edition, 8th edition podcast about 4 friends on a long journey home. We're actually going to be switching to Quest coming up here in a few weeks. Get ready for Arc 2 coming down the pipe. On Thursdays, you can catch me on Esper Genesis Revelations with Atomic Zero, and on Fridays, you can catch me here on Roll for Chaos for Delinquents. I had a blasty. That was fun. The system that you cooked up for my random apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Apocalypse.
Oh no, I had a day. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
Software is broken.
The system that you put together for my random apocalypse really is kind of a one-shot engine. You can just sort of like change the names on everything, switch the paint job, and run whatever you need to. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I plan on making a few more just to throw them out there and see what people think. Thank you for playing, as always. It's lovely. Shannon, your turn.
I'm Shannon. I'm at Glitz and Gamer at most places. Lots of times it has an underscore. Sometimes it doesn't. Just, be surprised. You'll see my face. I'm here on Thursdays, Roll for Chaos with the Wraith crew with that Rob B. Roland guy over there, playing games and things. and I have a purple wig instead of a white wig. But yeah, these one shots are fabulous. Ray Mayhem, you've been fucking fun to play with. It's amazing. You made an ICP reference, which you don't get in the TT sphere very often, so I appreciate that.
Listen, I am obsessed with juggalos. I'm not a juggalo, but I find them fascinating.
Fascinating. Yes, totally. 100%.
Absolutely.
Like an anthropological study, and like totally. And Ben, I think this is the first time we've actually played together.
It is. It's
like all this peripheral dancing around. So
Amazing.
yay! It was fun.
You called
So,
me
and then there's
the greatest among us. True.
now
Ty told on you.
he did. It's lies.
It's lies and
It's all
slander.
lies and slander. And then that Thai guy, I guess he's okay too. Thank you for running this and putting your heart and soul into it. And he was even nervous, y'all, and he doesn't get that nervous about his game, so I'm calling you out, Ty.
This was
one
important.
Was exciting
this
for
was
you.
an important one to get right because so many people like the Mad Max universe, and I didn't want to mess it up too much. So
I feel Mad Maxed.
that's good. All right, Rob, your turn.
Hi, that's me. I'm Robbie Rolling. If you want to see me do things, just stay here. I do things this Thursdays with the wonderful Shannon as Glitz Gamer and Ty as always. And I do my own thing on Saturdays called The Unremarkables, where we do superhero shenanigans. And we're coming up on some finale type stuff. Just like interplanetary, like virus things going on, that fun stuff. And yeah, if you want to see me do more things, just stick around here and do all that.
Absolutely. And I am Not Even Star on the things. I do art, I do game design, I do all of these things here on Roll for Chaos as much as I can. And that is it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. And we will see you all next time here and everywhere else throughout the entire Aethersphere. Good night, everyone. And
Bye!
Ladies and gentlemen, we understand that you have come tonight to bear witness to the sound of drum and bass. We regret to announce that this is not the case, as instead we come tonight to bring you the solid recreation of the end of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to hold your cover.